Give praise, esteem, and honor to the Most High Yah by way of Yahushua HaMashiach. And let's go to Mark chapter 1 and verse 10, I would say.
Mark chapter 1, 10. You don't want your prelude today? No intro?
That is your intro. Mark chapter 1 and verse 10.
It say, and straightway coming up out of the water, he saw Shamahim opening the rock like a dove descending upon him. And there came a voice from Shamahim saying, Thou art my beloved son, in whom I am well pleased. And immediately the Ruach driveth him into the wilderness, and he was there in the wilderness 40 days, tempted of the Hashatan, and he was with the wild beasts, and the Malachim ministered unto him. And now that John was put in prison, Yahushua came into Galilee preaching of the Basora of the kingdom of Elohim, and saying, The time is fulfilled, and the kingdom of Elohim is at hand. Repent ye and believe in the Basora.
So the time is at hand. The time is at hand is the statement that he made. And what happened to him before he made that statement that the time is at hand?
He didn't preach it.
No, before he made that statement, he got immersed. And immersion is a sign of what?
Sign of his marriage.
And marriage is a sign of what? What do you have to get before you get married? In order for a marriage to be tangible in the eyesight of Yahuwah, what do you need? You need a covenant. A covenant. A covenant. Why is that important? Hebrews chapter 9 and verse 10.
He said, which stood only in meats and in drinks and in diverse washings and carnal ordinances imposed on them until the time of Reformation. But the Mashiach being coming high priest of good things to come by a greater and more perfect tabernacle not made with hands, that is to say, not of this building. Neither by the blood of goats and of calves, but by his own blood he entered once into the Kadash temple, having obtained eternal redemption for us. For the blood of bulls and goats and the ashes of a heifer sprinkling the unclean sanctified to the purifying of the flesh, how much more shall the blood of Mashiach, who through the eternal Ruach offer himself without spot to Elohim, purge your conscience from dead works to serve the living Elohim. And for this cause, he is the mediator of the new covenant, that by means of death, for the redemption of the transgressions that were under the first covenant, they which are called might receive the promise of eternal life.
Now, I've asked y'all this question before. It's a very simple question. The sacrifice of the bulls or goats and what he mentioned, what were those sacrifices of those bulls or goats? What could they redeem you from? So what is it redeeming you from? The punishment for sin. Not for the breaking of said covenant, but the punishment for the sin itself. But he said, read that verse 15 again.
We at Hebrews chapter 9, brother, verse 15. It said, for this cause he is the mediator of the New Testament, that by means of death for the redemption of the transgressions that were under the first covenant.
So his death is for the cause of redeeming you from the sins that violated the first covenant. So just for informational purposes only, we will go read Exodus chapter 20 and verse 1. Because what we're going to look at is the key fundamental violations of that covenant, and not every single solitary violation, but some of the main key violations of said covenant.
Exodus 21. And Elohim spoke all these words, saying, I am Yahuwah thy Elohim, which I brought you out of the land of Mizraim, out of the house of bondage. Thou have no other Elohim before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in Shamahim above, or that is in the rocks beneath.
So we will examine one of the first transgressions that they had was doing what? Serving other gods and making graven images. Continue.
Or that is under the water, under the rocks. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them nor serve them, for I, Yahuwah thy Elohim, am a jealous Elohim, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of Yahuwah thy Elohim in vain, for Yahuwah will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain.
What does it mean to take Yahuwah's name in vain? What do you have to do to take this man's name in vain? Very well then. Proverbs chapter 30. Proverbs chapter 30 and verse 4.
Who hath ascended up into Shamahim, or descended? Who hath gathered the wind in his fist? Who hath bound the waters in a garment? Who hath established all the ends of the earth? What is his name, and what is his son's name, if thou can tell? Every word of Elohim is pure. He is a shield unto them that trust in him. And thou not until his words, lest he reprove thee, and thou be found a liar. 2 things have I required of thee, deny me them not before I die. Remove far from me vanity and lies, and give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with food convenient for me.
Why?
Lest I be full and deny thee and say, who is Elohim? Or lest I be poor and steal and take the name of my Elohim in vain.
So taking Yah's name in vain is to profess this man's name and live contrary to his word. Before we continue back to Exodus chapter 20, go to Ezekiel chapter 36 and pick me up at about verse 19. And after that, Romans chapter 2. That man told you he will not hold you guiltless if you take his name in vain. So if you walk around here talking about, and when we talk about taking his name in vain, that's saying that you are a son or daughter of Yasharal, because his name is in that. That is his name. You know what I'm saying? If you turn around and say you are Yahudim, his name is in that. If you profess the name of Yahuwah or Yahusha, you have blasphemed his name. You have taken his name in vain. If you turn around and you do things contrary to the word, you have made his name worthless. There's no power behind it. Go ahead.
36.
And 19.
It says, and I scattered them among the heathen, and they were dispersed through the countries according to their way and according to their doings I judged them. And when they entered into the heathen, whither they went, they profaned my Kadash name, and they said to them, these are people of Yahuwah, and are gone forth out of his hand, out of his land. But I had pity for my Kadash name, which the house of Yasharal had profaned among the heathens, whither they went. Therefore saying to the house of Yasharal, thus said Yahuwah Elohim, I do not this for your sakes, O house of Yasharal, but for my Kadash name's sake, which ye have profaned among the heathen, whither ye went. And I will sanctify my great name, which was profaned among the heathen, which ye have profaned in the midst of them. And the heathen shall know that Yahuwah, that I am Yahuwah, says.
That's good. Now the word profane is kalal, and it literally means to defile oneself or to pollute oneself or to make something common or to dishonor it. So when we proclaim the name of Yahuwah and move contrary to his name, and then with vain it means to make it empty or worthless, we just took the living Elohim and made him as if he was nothing. As if he was nothing. I meant say he will not hold you guiltless for this. Since we sitting back looking at it, besides David, who can you think of that took this man's name in vain? Because he told you with David, he told David, you caused my enemies room to give them room to blaspheme. He said, you out of my land, and every time that we've been outside of this man's land or outside of Jerusalem and all the nations see us, that is that man's name being taken in vain. Because all these nations know that by his mighty hand he delivered you out of Egypt and placed you in a location and ran out everyone who tried to come against you. And then why you think Moses came to him and say, please don't do that, then your enemies gonna hear that you weren't able to bring us into this place. Because then they're gonna be like, oh, y'all ain't about nothing, so why would we respect him? Why would we want to hear anything about what you got going on with that? Because you don't. Why would I fear God you don't fear? Why would I believe in a God you don't believe in? Why would I serve a God you don't serve? See, we don't be thinking about none of that because you just want to throw information at people and then have people in the same exact state that you is. It's just an empty, vain point of worship. That worship serves no purpose because there's no benefit or esteem coming to Yahuwah. Niggas really trying to bring benefit and esteem to themselves. Nevertheless, can you think of anybody who brought this man and made this man's name vain? You say who? We could take that with Aaron. Let's look at what Aaron did in the Exodus, the 32nd chapter. Exodus 32 and 3, I would say.
And all the people break off the golden earrings which were in their ears and brought them unto Aaron.
Well, go ahead and start verse 1 so we can just hear what it is going on.
It said when the people saw that Moses had delayed to come down from the mount, the people gathered themselves together unto Aaron and said unto him, Up, make us Elohim, which shall go before us. And as for this Moses, the man that had brought us out of the land.
So what part of the covenant did they just break?
Craving it. Serve another God.
They served another God. Then on top of that, that's also that Luke chapter 12 that we talked about the other day. They said they delayed his coming, so they wanted to eat, drink, and play. And they got ripped into pieces, and they were showed to be hypocrites and unbelievers because they was like, oh, we don't know what happened to him because he ain't came yet. He's delayed his coming. See, that's what I sit back and tell you, right? Moses told them people he was coming back, didn't he? So because they went and did what they wanted to, even though he told them that he was coming back, is because they didn't believe. That word shamar is used throughout this text numerous times to tell niggas to listen. And there's a reason for that. I ask this question. What could be the only reason besides unbelief that could cause an individual not to listen? It's a very simple answer to it.
Pride.
Not pride, though pride is a component. Other than disbelief. I narrow it down. What did he do to Pharaoh? He hardened his heart. That would stop niggas from listening.
That's not pride.
Your heart hardened because it's a combination of the unbelief, pride, numerous different things. Some people just outright rebellious and disobedient, and it wouldn't matter what you say, they're not going to listen. Because your heart can be hardened over time. It's like Pharaoh didn't necessarily have no pride against Yahuwah. He didn't even know who Yahuwah was. And Yahuwah said specifically, I'm going to harden his heart to cause him not to listen. Because if y'all wouldn't have hardened his heart, he may have well have hearkened. We'll never know. You know what I'm saying? But also remember what he told you about Pharaoh, what Pharaoh's purpose was for his power to be made known. So Pharaoh's heart was hardened from the jump street. You know what I'm saying? But that's why I say it's a component. When you're talking about a hard heart, besides rebellion, pride, and unbelief, what other parts do you think could be a part of a hardened heart? It's only about a couple more that can go into that.
What they see in someone that portraying to be in the faith, not knowing words.
What you would say with that would be hypocrisy. Hypocrisy is a part of having a hardened heart. Yeah, stubbornness is a part of having a hardened heart. And there's one other, dang, it was just in my brain and I done left. It's one other thing that go along with that. This is why in Ezekiel he told you he'll take that heart of stone out of you and give you a heart of flesh. Because this is what caused people not to hear. Not only just people who profess to serve you, but even people outside of that who are not of the nation, so to speak. Instead of just saying the world. It's that hardened heart. It's the pride. It's the stubbornness. It's the rebellion. It's a frowardness. Frowardness is what it was. Unbelief. All of these things go, because you can have some instances where you listen and some instances that you don't. That's what, and then that's what he mentioned. That's where the hypocrisy come in at. And they make your heart hard. So when the word comes, you won't hearken to it, because your heart is hard as a stone. and your neck is stiff, and you refuse to hearken, so you refuse to obey, like he said in Nehemiah chapter 9. See, this is what got the covenant violated for this man to even come to have to die to redeem you from the transgression. Because the breaking of God's covenant, what does the covenant state supposed to happen to you? Let's look and see. Deuteronomy 30 and 18.
I denounce unto you this day that ye should surely perish, and that ye should not prolong your days upon the land, whether thou passest over the Jordan to possess it. I call Shamahim and Arash to record this day against you, that I have set before you life and death, blessings and cursings. Therefore choose life, and both thou and thy seed may live. That thou mayest love you, thy Elohim, and thou mayest obey his voice, that thou mayest cleave unto him, for he is thy life, and the length of days, that thou mayest dwell in the land of which Yahuwah swear unto your fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and to Jacob.
So according to Deuteronomy 30, what's the penalty for violating this covenant? Death. That's the only option. There is no other option. He substituted them bulls and goats, but death is the only option. And you get put out the land, but in the midst of we'll see is him putting you out the land, somebody has to die. Whenever we got put out the land, somebody died. You violate that covenant, somebody has to die. Exodus chapter 20 again. See, that's the part of the game that we don't understand. This is why when you do take the Master's Supper as it's stated, and you drink that wine and you eating the bread, you showing his death to you till he come. So you're showing the manifestation of the covenant till he come. Because in order for a covenant to be in effect, a testator has to die. Go ahead.
22.
Wherever you stopped at. You stop that, don't take his name in vain.
We had 6, 7, 8. It said, remember the Shabbat and keep it Kadash. 6 days thou shalt labor and do all thy work. But the 7th day of the Shabbat of Yahuwah thy Elohim, and thou shalt not do any work. Thou, thy son, nor thy daughters, thy maidservants, nor thy maidservants, nor thy cattle, nor the stranger that is within thy gates. For 6 days Yahuwah made Shamahim and the rocks, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the 7th day. Wherefore Yahuwah broke the Shabbat and hallowed it.
Pause. Now go to Amos chapter 8, right? About verse 3. And after that, Nehemiah 13.
And the songs of the temple shall be howlings in that day, says Yahuwah Elohim. There shall be many dead bodies in every place, and they shall cast them forth with silence. Hear this, O ye that swallow up the needy, even to make the poor of the land to fail. Saying,
notice he said swallow up the afflicted, right? Y'all like to swallow them up. Go ahead.
Saying, when will the new moon be gone, that we may sell corn, and Shabbat, that we may set forth wheat.
See, they were looking at this here because we looking at them violating the terms and conditions of this covenant. They say, when is Shabbat going to go so we can go back to work? You understand? We have a problem with this because this is stopping what I'm doing. See, this is what I'm talking about when I say how nigga get like it's routine for you. You don't, see, when something becomes routine, it means you don't have a passion for it. You don't really have a desire. Remember I told y'all last night, right? The law say you're supposed to have a desire to who? What does the law say you're supposed to? I know the answer to the question. I'm asking y'all. Who you supposed to have a desire to? I'm talking about according to the law. Your husband. And what does that word for desire mean? It means to have a longing and a craving. That means you yearn for it from the pits of your belly. Nigga don't yearn for Yahuwah like that. That's why hypocrisy is so rampant and so easy to be executed. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't yearn for his righteousness. You don't yearn for his life. You don't yearn for his goodness. And you clearly couldn't yearn for his salvation. because you would crave it until you take your last breath. We just mentioned this the other week, man. Like, shoot, you only alive because of him. Your parents ain't the reason why you here, because they can't put breath in your lungs. They can put you on all them life support machines all they want, but them white folks know when they cut that machine off, you good as gone when y'all say, let me get that back. Just like if they say somebody dead, that person gonna be good and alive if y'all say keep that breath in his lungs. There's nothing that anybody can do to stop that. The book of Ecclesiastes says that a man has no power in that war to discharge death. You don't have power in that battle. You're going to have to lean on the person who does have power in that battle, and you don't even yearn for that power. You don't even yearn for that breath. That's why he told you the flesh profiteth nothing. It's the ruach that makes you alive. And you know ruach is breath. It's the breath of Elohim being breathed into your body what keeps you alive, and you don't even yearn for it. It's just something that you do now. Like niggas sit back and look at these feast days as it's just something to do. You used to have a delight in it. You don't delight in it anymore. Why? You know what I'm saying? Niggas saying they want to be a part of this man feast. They say they want to sit down and eat at his table. But everything is sit back that you deal with seems as conflicting with your life. And that's why you don't have a yearning for it. That's why you don't have a longing for it. Because you're more concerned about the things of this life, which will be burnt up and left to nothing. I think y'all don't, you ain't gonna necessarily see, and that's the part where we mean that you're not gonna believe it till he start rolling that heaven back like a scroll and start setting stuff on fire, and you start seeing dead body falling in the street, or your eyes get big when you laying there and you feel your last breath coming out your chest and you know the light's going out. Now all of a sudden it's for real now because you finna die. Why would you wait to the point of death to start longing and craving for something that you had an opportunity to long and crave for long before that situation arose? That doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? If your why is not to live eternally with the living Elohim, why are you even doing it? Like I asked y'all this last night, how many times do you even sit back and think, do you really have a longing to see this man's face? Do you have a longing to be in his light, to dwell in his temple? We just looked at it the other night. There won't be no night there, nor shining of the moon, nor shining of the sun. Do you have a yearning to even dwell in a location such as that? This man say he will lead his chesed by living waters, and no heat from the sun will touch them, because the sun will not shine there. You can't even fathom in your mind what it would be like to dwell in a place with light and no sun. Do you know what I'm saying? Because Yah is the light, and he will illuminate the whole entire place, and you have no need for sunlight. Because he's there. Why, let me ask you a question. Why wouldn't it be no night there? Not just that. Why wouldn't it be no night there? So if he's light, then what does that mean? There's a verse in the book that tells you this. Because there's ain't no darkness in Elohim, so why would it be night there? Say Elohim is light and no part dark. So if Elohim dwelling in us, what sense would it make for it to be nighttime? That means his light would be extinguished and he would need to rekindle it. He has no need to do that. Now what's that other place? I think it's in Jeremiah with the Sabbath. Look at what he told him during the Sabbath. I want to say it's Jeremiah 23.
He said he wanted Nehemiah or something.
Yeah, I did, but I was going to Jeremiah 23 first. It's Nehemiah 13. We just finna read what Nehemiah, y'all know what Nehemiah told them on the Sabbath, don't you? You remember what he told them? Nah, ain't that part. We ain't looking for that part.
They're gonna come back around here again.
Come back around here again, boy. I got something for you.
Come back around here again, put the hands on
I'm gonna put these hands on you, boy. I'm gonna put these hands on you. You know what I'm talking about? And what was he gonna put his hands on them for? Because they was out here violating. And that's how angry that made him, because that's a transgression of the covenant that can get niggas killed.
I did have a question about that, though. Why they just like wait until the new moon over and just sit back?
Because they went down, they sat down and they ate on the new moon, like what you read was David.
But not because it's just about.
No, because he never told you that.
No, I don't do that.
Jeremiah 17 and 20. That's why Saul was hot with David when he was like, man, where the nigga at, man?
What's that?
Jeremiah 17 and 20. It's time to feast and we on David's seat empty. See, that Samuel let you know that it wasn't a violation, because Saul didn't say nothing about David sinning. He just was like, why he wasn't there.
Nah, I'm looking at it, ain't no violation. Why wait? Go on sell. You that itchy.
Because they just sat there behind down. Because they remember that in Ezekiel it'll tell you that they worshiped at the gate on the new moon. So, they went to the temple. You know what I'm talking about? And these niggas sitting back looking at, I don't want to go to the temple. I want to go over here and do this. I want to go over here and do that. I want to go over here and do this. Same token with, and if we were still in the land, and I hate to use those examples like that, niggas came up for that whole week of Passover, whole week of Tabernacles. It wasn't no, I got this going on and that going on. All that was secondary for them. That's how they saw it. It was secondary for them. Anything they had going in their life was grossly unimportant because this is Yahuwah you talking about. See, that's the difference where it come in at, because you go thinking, I'm tired, I got to go to work, I got to do this. They didn't care about any of that for a season, because after a while they stopped keeping them completely. Which I think y'all know that. Y'all are aware of that there were gaps where they didn't even keep the feast no more. So that's what happens when complacency and, what's the word I'm looking for? And being apathetic and apathy come in, because you don't care no more. So you treat it like it's nothing, and next thing you know, you stop doing it because you don't long for it, you don't crave for it. Jeremiah 17:20.
And say unto them, hear ye the word of Yahuwah, ye Malachim of Yehuda, and all the Yehuda and the inhabitants of Jerusalem that enter in by these gates. Thus says Yahuwah, take heed to yourselves and bear no burden.
What he told them to do?
Yourselves and bear no burden.
Don't bear no burden
on the Shabbat.
Don't do it on the Shabbat.
Nor bring it by the gates of Jerusalem.
Don't even bring it by the gate.
Neither carry forth the burden out of your house on the Shabbat. Neither do ye any work, but hollow ye.
Pause. When he said don't carry, now when we look at burden, it's a load, it's a tribute, it's a lifting or uplifting or something that lifts one's soul up. Now listen to what he told them. What he told them, don't carry out the house.
She said, do not carry a burden out your house on the Shabbat, neither do any work, but hallow ye the Shabbat.
Pause. Why is that important in the New Testament when he said don't carry no burden out your house?
Come to me, heavy laden.
No. We're looking at the simple fact that there's examples of this. This will cause you to understand why people got sized the way they got sized. When he healed somebody who had a bed that they dwelt on, and he healed that lame person and called them to stand up, what would Yahushua say to them? Take up your bed and walk. And what would the scribes and Pharisees tell this person after this person pick up his bed? You work it on the Sabbath. See, they were so wicked and hypocritical that they weren't looking at the fact that that was not the burden that this man was talking about. This man this man's paraplegic or whatever he got going on. Now he can walk. Clearly he's not going to leave his bed right there where he got up at. Clearly he got to take it up and take it home. Do you not see the hypocrisy that nobody said anything with the fact that he carried the bed out of his house to get healed in the first place? Nigga totally overlooked that fact. How did he get the bed out of the house?
Oh, he was posted up.
No, I mean there's several other instances where these people was out in the street. Remember the dude said every time I try to get in the water shalom, when the Malachim come and trouble the water, somebody always jump in before me. So clearly he wasn't nowhere near the house. He was trying to get healed. Once he got healed, all the Pharisees were trying to do was say, you violating Jeremiah 17. You're carrying a burden. Now in these days and time, what you think carrying a burden out of your house would be?
Moving.
Oh yeah, I done told nigga, you don't move on Sabbath. You go ahead and push that back a day, cuz. Push it up a day. Got no business moving no furniture on no Sabbath. For what? Do you know what I'm saying? What are some of the things y'all could think of where you would sit back and know that you would be violating the Sabbath? Take in mind that Isaiah 58 tells you that you should not speak your own words, nor do your own deeds, nor seek your own pleasure on this man's Shabbat. Now he just told you don't carry no burden out of your house. And we gonna read now, this all he asked these niggas to do, and he wouldn't put them out in the land, and them niggas couldn't even do that. And they couldn't even do that. What's some of the things y'all can think of that you violating the Sabbath? Don't worry, I got time.
He's taking something out your house. Like, what did it mean?
What's they say? He said burden is just said lifting something up and carrying up out of your house. So a bird necessarily ain't got to be no heavy word. The word is masah. It's a load or a burden, also a son of Ishmael, or an axation, but also a mental or desire. A mental desire. So what type of burden you think you could be carrying up out of your house? Yeah, you shouldn't be cleaning on the Sabbath. Your house should already be clean. You have a preparation day for that one. We know people feel like cooking is one, which is the dumbest thing I ever heard. That's them white folks there. You can't flip on the lights on the Sabbath. These niggas leave their lights on Friday night all the way to Saturday morning. Then they cut the lights off.
Yeah,
because it's light outside.
But then, if you can't clean up, washing dishes and doing all that, what you ain't supposed to do that?
No. I mean, you sit back and you look at it. If you cleaning your house, what are you doing?
I'm just saying, if you cooking, that's what I'm saying.
I mean, 9 times out of 10, if you cooking on the Sabbath,
it's dirty dishes. Man.
Yeah, it's gonna be dirty dishes. So either if you cook at night, then you know they gonna sit there. If you cook in the daytime, you know they ain't gonna be there long. But would that come into your proper preparation, or how you gonna execute that and do that? But now also looking at, he telling you don't carry no burden out of your house. It also can refer to a desire.
Yeah, you going out your house to do something you desire.
Well, what are these things?
Anything people got. Niggas want to
I
go
mean,
fishing,
y'all
niggas want to go to the football.
that's why I'm asking y'all. Y'all being general. I'm trying to be specific. General answers don't get you nowhere.
No, I just thinking it's obvious.
Going to the mall.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Okay, but we got to be specific. It's a lot of things people got desires to do. What would these things be where you make this man day common?
Going to the football game, basketball game, going out to enjoy yourself.
Watching television. They say going out and enjoy yourself. You know what I'm saying? Are you necessarily sinning if you say you go and walk on the beach on the Sabbath? No. But if it's somebody weak in the faith, this would have come in there with what Paul was stating like this here. If something you do can cause somebody to offend or cause them to stumble, then you refrain from doing it even if it's not wrong. See, that goes back into being humble and lowly and being a servant. Are you sinning if you walk on the beach? No, because you just walking up and down the sand. It's y'all's beach. You haven't brought no burden out here. But if somebody weak in the faith see it, then they think, see, that nigga hanging out on the beach. I can go over here and do this, that, and the third. And now you done called that person a stumble.
I feel like that's because you saying nigga can't walk on the beach. Nigga take his girl out there.
I ain't saying you can't do it. What I'm saying
At
is
that point, you gotta cook out on the beach.
shoot.
I'm just saying.
Somebody
I'm just agreeing with you. Like the lines can be easily blurred.
easily blurred. They don't know what you got going on. You could have seen somebody you knew on the beach who was out there playing volleyball or doing it. What's going on with your boy? Hey man, I'm doing all right. See that nigga out there hanging out on the Sabbath. I can do it. It's just that simple. That's why Paul say all things are lawful, but everything is not expedient. Just because you have the ability to do something don't mean you should. Because that's why he say, am I judged by another man's conscience? No, but you moving as Yahushua move. He's not going to cause his brother to stumble. He's not going to put a stumbling block of offense in his pathway. That's called a sacrifice. That's called Elohim. That's called showing forth the character and attributes of Elohim. We don't never consider that because we look at it as it ain't no sin, so I can do it, so I want to do it. Don't care if it make another nigga fall. Nigga don't care. But there's many other things that people go out here and do on the Sabbath. Some niggas sitting back to go to Sabbath to go on and get drunk, go and smoke, go chase hoes. I'm talking about and call themselves brews. This is one of the reasons why Paul stated, let us not forsake the assembling of ourselves as the matter of some is, because the gathering of this man's body and one together should be for the gathering of their part to implore one another to live righteous and not to be stupid on every single solitary occasion that you have a chance to be stupid for. Because I told you this before, right? I think I mentioned it yesterday. If I'm not, then forgive me. If you don't have the word in you, see, it's good. The book tell you that 2 is better than 1, right? And when he tell you that 2 is better than 1, why did he state that? This is in Ecclesiastes chapter 4 that I'm referencing. When he say 2 people are better than 1, what were some of the reasons why he said those 2 people are better than 1? No. He said 1 falls, somebody else can pick him up. Say if he cold, a nigga can warm him. He say, but if ain't nobody there with you, can't nobody do nothing for you. Now, of course, ain't nobody gonna be with you 24/7, 365. So that's to the point where you need to have the word inside of you. Because if you get in a situation where you feel weak and this, that, that, and the third, and there's no word inside of you, then you are going to do whatever it is that you wanted to go do. You have to internalize. See, that's our problem. We don't actually internalize the word. You don't lay it up in your heart. You don't file it away in your spirit. It's just reciting information. We're not in school. This ain't about how much knowledge you can recite back. There's not an exam you got to take where you got to harken back to memory to answer the question correctly. You got to be able to answer the question correctly when you face with the temptation in your face in real time. Ain't it funny that a nigga can sit here and recite information, and when his spirit get tempted, he can't recite that information not to sin? What type of sense does that make? You can answer in here, but you can't answer in real life when you faced with the temptation. Now you can't recall the information. Now you can't recite that back. You can't pull a Yahusha when he got tempted of the devil to tell the devil what the script say. And you know the reason why he told the devil what the script say? Because nigga ain't finna do it. And this is why.
He said, you know what it said.
Straight up and down. That's the first thing he told you. You know what it say. But I'm going to tell you anyway. That's the part I don't understand. Nigga can tell you 1,000 scripts in a sit-down session or going through the book. Can't tell a sinner or the adversary not one when his soul get tempted. Can't tell him one. Are we supposed to do this? I don't know. You know what you're supposed to do and what you ain't supposed to do. That's what you wanted to do. Come on, man. Come on, finish that Jeremiah 17.
It said, but they obeyed not, neither inclined their ears, but
They didn't do what?
They made their neck stiff.
Oh,
they did
man.
not obey.
They did not obey.
He said they made their neck stiff that they might not hear nor receive instruction.
Mm-hmm.
And it came to pass, if ye diligently hearken unto me, said Jehovah, to bring no burden through the gates of this city on the Shabbat, but to hallow the Shabbat, to do no work therein, then shall there enter into the gates of this city Malachims and princes sitting upon the throne of David, riding in chariots and on horses, they and their princes and men of Yehuda and the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and this city shall remain forever.
Straight up. He told them that's all he asked them to do, didn't he? They couldn't even do that. Go to Nehemiah 13, man. What it is? About verse 12? It probably ain't verse 12. Though. What's up, Eugene?
Ding. Well, he like that. He like that, don't you? Yeah.
Little Gene. What's going on, Eugene?
What's up, Ding? What's up, man? What's up, man?
Yeah, 13 and 12 will work. Make it 11, though. Matter of fact, make it 10. Nehemiah 13 and 10.
And I perceived that the portion of the Levites had not been given unto them, for the Levites and the singers that did the work were fled, everyone to his field.
So Nehemiah's upset because the Levites have not been given what they were supposed to have been given for their service. Go ahead.
It said they contended with, I then contended I with the rulers and said, why is the house of Elohim forsaken? And I gathered them together and set them in their place.
Now they done abandoned the house of Elohim.
And then brought all of Yehuda the tithe of corn and of new wine and the oil into the treasuries. And I made treasures over the treasuries, and Selemiah the priest and Zadok the scribe and of the Levites and Pedaiah the next to them was Haran the son of Zakur and the son of Mattanah, for they were counted faithful, and their office was to distribute unto them.
Now what Will we be able to say that these gentlemen who he just mentioned were stewards? What do stewards do? They watch over goods. They watch over goods. He said that he gave the goods to those men, didn't he? Saying they were faithful. That's why the book says a steward must be found faithful to hold the mysteries of Elohim, to distribute them to their brethren, to distribute them to the people. Go ahead. All this stuff be in the word, man. He don't be knowing. It's a lot of niggas we want to be stewards. You can't be no steward and you're not a faithful individual. Meaning, what you say is what you do, and you do it consistently. Go ahead, man.
It said, remember me, O Elohim, concerning this, and wipe not out my good deeds that I have done for this house, O my Elohim, and the offices thereof.
Yes, sir.
In those days saw I in Yehuda some treading wine presses.
Treading wine? What's treading wine press? What you do when you tread a wine press?
Squeezing them grapes.
You squeezing them grapes. Come on.
It say, and bringing in sheaves and lading asses.
When you lay in the donkey, what you doing when you lay in the donkey?
Putting them burdens on it.
Putting them birds on it. Bringing out sheaves, what that mean? They harvesting crops and all in them. Go ahead.
It says, and also wine, grapes, and figs, and all the manner of birds.
So that's what it looked like when he tell you not to bring no burden out of your house. Don't get your black behind up out there and go do stuff you know you ain't got no business. Don't be going out here and doing all your pleasure and doing all your stuff. It's 7 days in a week, right? 24 hours in a day. 168 hours in a week. That man only asking for 24. You know how selfish you got to be that you can't give a man 24 hours of your time and he give you your whole life? And your house where you dwell? Regardless if you dwell with somebody else or not, because he the one touched their heart to let you live there. You know what I'm talking about? He gave you your means to make money. He put the clothes on your back. He gave you a heart to seek him, and you mean to tell me you can't give this man 24 of 168 hours? You was a selfish bastard that ought to die. When you sit and think about that, 24 out of 168, that is absolutely nothing. You have 144 hours to do everything you want to do. That's how merciful the man is. The man say 6 days you labor, 1 day you rest. I gave you 6 days, nigga. 6 days. Now what you do with your 6 days, 144 hours, that's your fault you didn't maximize them. That's your fault you weren't productive. And that's your fault you didn't properly prepare for each one of them. And then you want to get to his day and try to fit all the stuff you didn't do the rest of the week on his day. And that's how they were violating this covenant. So somebody got to die for this. Because we already know in Numbers what happened to cuz who were picking up them sticks. They stoned them. Somebody has to die for breaking this covenant. Like, you had to really sit and think about that. You have 144 hours to do everything you want to do. I mean, that's the part that be killing me, nigga. Like, can you have sex on the Sabbath? Come on, bro. You got 6 days to lay with your wife. You can't abstain from this nigga for 1 day? You got that small amount of self-control? You can't be that horny, cuz. You just want to do it because you feel like it's just a Sabbath. That means you ought to go to hell. You ought to go to hell. It's just the Sabbath. That's how you see it. So when he come through to give all his kased rest, then he gonna look at you when he cutting your head off. It's just the Sabbath. Right or wrong? It's just the Sabbath. You wasn't trying to rest. Give me Hebrew chapter 4 real quick, man. 4 and 6, man. It's just to quantify so you can understand it. I mean, I've said it before. It ain't been a while, though. But it's 168 hours in a week. The man only asking for 24. That's why he says commandments are not grievous. Don't you think it would be grievous if he was asking for 72? That'd be a little hard on us, wouldn't it? So you mean to tell me, Father, I got to stop 3 days? It ain't but 7 days, and I can't do nothing on 3 of them? That's hard on his creation at that point. He said, man, just one. The last day of the week at that. The last day of the week. I just want one. I just want one. See, we don't want to fall into just like your forefather were looking at that Sabbath like a burden. Oh, it's the Sabbath again. When is it going to be past so I can go watch TV? So I can go buy this and go buy that. Come on, man. You know how wicked of a mindset that is? that you claim you so happy for it to come, but then when it's come, you ready for it to go. Come on, man. Go ahead.
Hebrews 4:7.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing therefore it remaineth that some must enter therein, and they to whom it was first preached enter not in because of unbelief. Again he limited it a certain day, saying in David,
What he said?
Today after so long a time, as it is said today, if you will hear his voice, harden not your hearts. For if Yahushua had given them rest, then would he not afterwards have spoken of another day? There remaineth therefore rest to the people of Elohim.
What did it say?
For he that is entered into his feet, he also faith ceased from his own works.
So you cite this here, right? If you enter into his rest, then you stop doing your works like Elohim stopped from doing his. We ain't got no excuse that when the Father himself, when the Sabbath day come, that man sat down to 24 hours. Yahushua sat down and saw rest was good, so you could have eternal rest, and you can't even get it, man, 24 hours. And that man gave you 72. And all the time he was on the stake. Ain't no excuse. Ain't no excuse. That man gave you 72 hours in the grave and on a tree, nailed after being beaten and spit upon. And all he wants you to do is rest, not only for that one day, but also to rest for them whole 168 and stop doing your own works and start doing his. And start doing his. That's what I meant a long time ago when we dealt, is you keeping the Sabbath. If you're doing your own works, you ain't keeping the Sabbath, and you're going to hell. Because the Sabbath is supposed to be for you resting from your labors. He told you to come unto him, all ye that labor, and I'll give you rest. Stop doing your own stuff, and he'll save you. If you keep doing your own stuff, you breaking the Sabbath, whether you keep the weekly Sabbath or not, because you ain't rested. When you die, what does everybody say? So if you dead in Mashiach, why is sin not being put to rest? That should be put to rest. Shouldn't be no more carnal living. Shouldn't be no more carnal act. It shouldn't be no more none of that. You got in that water, you said I was dead. That's what you said. I told some of y'all that before. You can come on out here and get in that water. Some of you niggas just got wet and got to go to the house and change your drawers and put on some clean clothes. But you ain't got your soul cleansed. You just came out here to get wet. That's ritualistic service. That's what we talking about last night. Some people just want a wedding, and some people want a marriage. Some people want the show, and other people want to do the work. You know what I'm saying? Don't be the person who wants to have a show. Go ahead back to Nehemiah 13. Wherever you started. Ain't nothing but a good old Bono's receipt. I need all these $13.36. Most High willing when tax time comes. You roll your eyes all you want to. What you call it then? You gotta pee. He gotta pee, y'all.
I ain't prepared.
He ain't got no Dr. Pepper bottle like Forrest Gump doing then. What are they, 13 and 16? In those days saw I in Yehuda some treading wine presses on the Shabbat, and bringing in leaves and lading asses, also wine, grapes, and figs, and all manner of burdens which they brought in Jerusalem on Shabbat. And I testified against them in the day wherein they sold victuals. There dwelt men of Tyre also therein, which brought fish and all manner of ware, and sold on Shabbat unto the children of Yehuda and Jerusalem. Then I contended with the nobles of Yehuda and said unto them, what evil thing is this that ye do, and profane the Shabbat? Did not your fathers thus, and did not our Elohim bring all this evil upon this city? Yet you bring more wrath upon Yasharal by profaning Shabbat. That goes back to what we read in Jeremiah 17, because they are back in Yehuda. This Yehuda's the one who went into captivity in Babylon. When Yahuwah made that proclamation through Jeremiah, that was in Yehuda before they went into Babylon. That's why he's making that statement. Did not your fathers thus? Did they not do this? And you're doing it. And it came to pass that when the gates of Jerusalem began to be dark before Shabbat, I commanded that the gates should be shut, and charged that they should not be opened till after Shabbat. And some of my servants said I at the gates that there should be no burden be brought in on Shabbat. So the merchants and sellers of all kind of ware lodged without Jerusalem once or twice. Then I testified against them Why do you lodge ye about the wall? If you do so again, I will lay hands on you. From that time forth came they no more on Shabbat. And I commanded the Levites that they should cleanse themselves, and that they should come and keep the gates to sanctify the Shabbat. Remember me, O my Elohim, concerning this also, and spare me according to the greatness of thy mercy. See, he came and told them to cleanse themselves, and then they came over there and they set that Sabbath apart. Because you see, you ain't no different than your forefathers. Your forefathers looked at the Shabbat the same day. Man, I can't do this, and I can't do that, and I can't do this. And that's the wrong mindset and attitude to have. If that's how you feel, you can't never open your mouth and say, boy, I can't wait till Shabbat so I can rest, because you ain't really trying to rest. You just don't want to go to work today. You know what I'm saying? You ain't looking to rest in him. Shabbat wasn't made. Come over here to Matthew chapter 12. And then we come back to Exodus 20. I just want 12 and 8. That's all we came here for. Well, no, that's not it. That's not it. That's not what I wanted. Why is this nigga inboxing me? Bro, I've never met you before in my life. Make that Mark chapter 2, y'all. I just want 2 and 27. My apologies. I just want Mark 2 and 27. And he said unto them, the Shabbat was made for man, and not man for Shabbat. Therefore the Son of Man is master also of Shabbat. He said he said rest was made for man, not man for rest. You understand what that means? That rest was made for man and not man for rest? You understand what that means? You understand what that means?
I believe.
What does that mean?
Is that he made us so that we can enter to his rest.
He said Shabbat was made for man, not man for Shabbat. We know Shabbat means rest.
So he said man not made for rest.
He said rest was made for man. Man was not made for rest. So what is rest?
I'm looking at it spiritually. The kingdom is his rest. So he's saying he made us, he made rest, so that's something that we can attain, we can receive.
So, and like
But
DC just
flesh not made for rest because it's contrary to it. That's all it is.
yeah, but I don't think that's going to be the word. We ain't going to get that out of Shabbat though.
You know what I'm saying?
Y'all get what you're saying? Anybody else?
That's right.
No. DC just said that he made Messiah for man.
Yeah.
So basically he made eternal life for man. Man was not made for eternal life. So knowing that the Shabbat is pointing you to eternal life, then why wouldn't you have a delight, longing, and craving to dwell in it as long as you possibly can? That's why he was getting on them about all the stuff they were coming on them about Shabbat, because you think that he made Shabbat for you. You know what I'm saying? As forth as man was made, now I'm going to give you this Shabbat, because that's how it seems to look when you read it in the text. If you a dummy, you know what I'm saying? When you read it in the text, you see that he made he made them male and female, made he them, and all that right there, right? And then we talking about chapter 1, and then you see he made the Sabbath, and then you see him talking about pulling Adam out of the dust. So an idiot to sit back and look at, see, man was made, then the Shabbat. He made man for the Shabbat. That's how stupid they were. That's why he had to tell them that. When they didn't realize that the Shabbat was made for you, irregardless that man was quote unquote made on the 6th day and the Shabbat on the 7th. He made that rest for you because you gonna need it. You gonna need my salvation. You gonna need it. Which again is what you mentioned, the Messiah, this, that, and the third. You gonna need this man to die for you. You gonna need it. You know what I'm saying? Which means that you need Elohim. Elohim don't need you. See, that's the part we be getting confused. That man don't need you. What does he need from any one of us? What do we have to offer him? Which one of you taught him the way of knowledge or showed him the way of understanding? My sentiments exactly. Back to Exodus chapter 20. Not one of us did. Now that I think about it, slothfulness also is another way that your heart can get hardened too. The reason why I say that, because you get lazy, and then when you're instructed to do something, you put it off and you put it off and you put it off and you put it off, and you never do it, which is the same as not listening.
We had 20 and 12. It said, honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which Yahuwah thy Elohim give thee. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit adultery, and thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet his wife, manservant, maidservant, his ass, his ox, or anything that is your neighbor's. All the people saw the thunders and lightnings and the noise of the trumpet and the mountain smoking. And when the people saw it, they removed and stood afar off.
That's good. So you know what he told him? He told him, don't steal, don't covet, don't sleep with another man's wife, don't bear no false witness. Let's begin to look at some more of these violations of this covenant. Let's look at Jeremiah chapter 9 and verse 1. Jeremiah 9 and 1.
It says, oh, that my head were waters and my eyes a fountain of tears, that I might weep day and night for the slain of the daughter of my people. Oh, that I had the wilderness a lodging place of wayfaring men, that I might leave my people and go from them, for they be all adulterers, an assembly of treacherous men.
They all what?
An assembly of treacherous men.
And they all adulterers. Go ahead.
It say they bend their tongues like the bow for lies, but they
Hey, you
are
need to
not,
shut that door. You got to shut that door.
They are not valiant for the truth upon the rats, for they proceed from evil to evil, and they know not me, saith Yahuwah.
They proceed from what?
They proceed from evil to evil.
Evil to evil. Now let's look at something in 2 Chronicles chapter 5 by verse 22. Now Jeremiah just stated these men, I meant to say 1 Chronicles if I said second. These men sat round, they sleeping with others. There's another place in Jeremiah where he said these men sit round and neigh at one another's wives. First Chronicles 5 and 20.
And they were helped against them, and the Hagarites were delivered into their hand, and all that were with them. For they cried unto Elohim in battle, and he was entreated of them, because they put their trust in him. And they took away their cattle and their camels 50,000, and sheep of 250,000, and of asses 200, and men of 100,000. For they were full, for there were that fell down many slain, because the war was of Elohim, and they dwelt in the stead until the captivity. And their steeds. And their steeds until the
Stay in their
captivity.
place.
It's saying, you want,
Keep going.
and the children of the half tribe of Manasseh dwelt in the land. They increased from Bashan to Baal Hermon and Sinir, and unto Mount Hermon. And these were the heads of the house of the fathers, even of Fur and Aish, and Ael, and Azrael, and Jeremiah, and Hodaviah, and Yadiel, mighty men of valor, famous men, and heads of the house of their fathers. And they transgressed against Elohim of their fathers, and went whoring after the Elohim of the people of the land.
They went to what?
They went whoring after the Elohim of the people of the land.
Mm-hmm.
Whom Elohim destroyed before them. And the Elohim of Yahshua stirred up the Ruach of
That's good. So when we go look at this word transgress, it is ma'al, and it means to be unfaithful or to be treacherous. Then we just see what it said they were treacherous men. What do y'all know for as far as, and it also means to be against your husband. As far as y'all know, what does it mean to be treacherous? Your definition of treacherous as you know it at this present time. All right. Anybody else?
That's what I was saying.
Huh? Lying? Oh, conniving, you mean? All right, cool. When we got Maul and it's M-A-A-L, what 3 characters would you come up for that? Maul.
There's 3 of them?
There's 3 of them.
Remember other than the mark? I'm guessing.
Yeah. What would we come up with being then? What would you say?
For treacherous?
Door. Chaos.
Teach.
So somebody's teaching chaos, right? So what is that olive then?
Mighty men. No. Leading the teaching people chaos. Strengthening people in their chaos.
Strengthening people in their sin. You teaching people to be strengthened in their sin. So let's look at Jeremiah 23. But matter of fact, no. Ezekiel 13. (13 and 16). Matter of fact, make it 13 and 4.
Ezekiel 13.
Ezekiel 13 and 4.
O Yasharal, thy prophets are like foxes in the desert. Ye have not gone up into the gaps, neither made up the head for the house of Yasharal to stand in the battle in the day, Yahuwah.
What's the battle? The battle is the fight between what's right and what's wrong, between good and evil. Go ahead.
It says, they have seen vanity and lying divinations, saying, Yahuwah said, and Yahuwah have not sent them, and they have made others to hope that they would confirm the word.
They made others do what?
They made others to hope that they would confirm the word.
Go ahead.
Have ye not seen a vain vision, and have not ye spoken on a lying divination? Whereas you say, Yahuwah saith it, albeit I have not spoken.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore thus says Yahuwah Elohim, because ye have spoken vanity, and seen lies. Therefore, behold, I am against you, says Yahuwah Elohim.
Mm-hmm.
And my hand shall be upon the prophets that see vanity and that divine lies. They shall not be in the assembly of my people. Neither shall they be written in the writing of the house of Yasharal, neither shall they enter into the land of Yasharal. And ye shall know that I am Yahuwah Elohim.
Pause. So the deal treacherous, remember, that's to act unfaithful, to transgress, to commit a trespass. These prophets were unfaithful. The reason why I mention that, because we looked at with them, with those men in Nehemiah, and what did it say they were? They were what? Faithful men. They didn't transgress. Give me 1 Corinthians 4:1, since I'm talking about it. Now we talking about these same prophets. They causing the people to transgress.
First Corinthians 4:1. Let a man so account of us as the ministers of the Mashiach and stewards of the mysteries of Elohim.
They stewards of what?
The mystery of Elohim.
What else?
Moreover, it is required in the steward that a man be found faithful.
It's required of a steward he found what?
Faithful.
Mm-hmm.
But with me, it is a very small thing that I.
That's good. That's all we came there for. Say a steward got to be found what? Faithful. Faithful. Now I sit back and say when somebody's moving treacherously, they acting what? Or transgressing, they're acting unfaithfully. Now it just sat back and said that these people transgressed the law of Yahuwah by serving the gods of the people they just beat. So when we looking at transgressing, you looking at someone who is not faithful. You know what I'm saying? Yahuwah say he is the faithful Elohim. So that's why he requires those who serve him to be, that's why he look at transgression as such a treacherous act. See, treachery is also betrayal. You know what I'm saying? Somebody say, boy, that nigga there treacherous. Nigga telling you that nigga he'll flip out on you. He'll turn on you. You know what I'm saying? As a human being, if you have a friend or a family member, it's just like the same way if you with somebody and they cheat on you, you see that as being treacherous. You're not faithful. You're just, you know what I'm saying? Treachery is a hard thing to take. That's a hard thing to take. You rather nigga just stop being your friend than be treacherous. Y'all ever knew some people y'all felt like were treacherous? That nigga threw a nigga out there quick. Being in them streets, boy, you see treacherous niggas all the time. You know what I'm saying? And they gonna take your life. You know that, and that's the part too we talking about the other day. You know, it's cool niggas listen to music and all that there, right? But I seen somebody had posted something like, yeah, the song brings my inner ratchet out. That ain't really nothing to be cool about. To be ratchet, to be treacherous. You're not a faithful individual. You're probably violent and you're ignorant, and at certain time, niggas around here talking about cutthroat. Nigga, that's not cool to be cutthroat, nigga. That ain't cool. I told you I was locked up with a nigga. That nigga nickname was Slime Ball. Who want to be friends with a nigga named Slime Ball? Huh? Oh yeah, that nigga was from out east. You know what I'm saying? That nigga was a slime ball too. Dead serious. You know what I'm saying? But it just causing us to think, to wait, and to consider what that means. So when we look at, we don't hold to this man covenant, we are unfaithful. When we transgress, we are unfaithful. Come on over here to 2 Chronicles chapter 20, man. And remember, all the transgress meaning you're being taught to be strengthened in your sin. Oh no, you don't want that. You don't want that.
Or in your destruction.
In your destruction. But then but we gonna look at something to take it back to the poto. Come on, man. 2 Chronicles, what that is? Chapter 20. I want it. That's what I want. Chapter 20.
What verse you want, brother?
I want toward verse 22.
It said, when they began to sing and praise Yahuwah, set ambushments against the children of Ammon, Moab, Mount Seir, which would come up against Yehuda, and they were smitten.
They were smitten.
For the children of Ammon and Moab stood up against the inhabitants of Mount Seir, utterly to slay and destroy them. And when they had made an end of the inhabitants of Seir, everyone...
Let me get that first Chronicles. That's what we want. 1 Chronicles chapter 20. Yeah. Because I ain't heard my man's name yet, so... No, that ain't it either. Oh, man, we're somewhere. Oh, no. No, that ain't what I want. I don't want verse 20. It had to be chapter. Shoot, I know where you at. I'm finna find it for my own brain. Shoot, you gonna have it for you. Everybody gonna hear it. I gotta do that for my own brain. I'm probably all in the wrong place.
Eat it.
She said I make it. Yeah, it was 2 Chronicles, but I was in the wrong chapter. It's 24 and 20. 2 Chronicles 24 and 20.
2 Chronicles 24 and 20. It's saying the rest of the sons of Levi, of the sons of Amram, Shubael, and the sons of Shubael were Yedidiah. Concerning Rehabiah of the sons of Rehabiah, the first was...
You in 2 Chronicles 24?
I thought it said 24.
Yeah,
It said second though, I'm in first. So that would do the trick. Oh, that's who you want.
Yeah, what did it say?
Your partner then. It said they conspired against him and stoned him with stones at the commandment of the king in the court of the house of Yahuwah. Thus Joash the king remembered not the kindness that Yehoiada his father had done to him, but he slew his son. And when he died, he said, Yahuwah look upon it and require it.
And you have read 20 that fast?
I started at 21. It said the Ruach of Elohim.
Matter of fact, Paul, back me up to 15.
Okay.
I said, boy, that nigga quick. I ain't even catch that.
It said Yehoiada waxed old and was full of days when he died. 130 years old was when he died. They buried him in the city of David among the kings because he had done good in Yasharah, both towards Elohim and towards his house.
Towards his house.
Now after that, the death of Yehoiada came, the princes of Yehuda, they made obstinance to the king.
They bowed down to him.
And then the king hearkened unto them.
He listened to them.
And they left the house of Yehuda, Elohim their fathers, and served the groves and idols. And wrath came upon Yehuda and Jerusalem and for all their trespasses.
All they trespassed.
Yet he sent prophets to them to bring them again unto Yehuda, and they testified against them, but they would not give
They
in.
just won't listen.
It said, then the spirit of Elohim came upon Zechariah, the son of Yehoiada, the priest, which stood above the people, and said unto them,
What'd he say?
Thus says Elohim, why transgresses ye the commandment of Yahuwah that ye could not prosper?
That you can't what?
That you could not prosper.
That you can't get no gain.
Because ye have forsaken Yahuwah, he has also forsaken you.
He done dropped you. Keep on going.
And they conspired against him and stoned him with stones.
Now they want to kill him.
The king
Ain't that just like a nigga?
in the court of the house of Yahuwah.
Nigga, ain't that just like a nigga? Who being unfaithful in this situation? Zechariah or the people? The people. See, and that goes back to the statement that I made last night. Think of it spiritually, not just naturally. Just using the natural to get to the spiritual. You say you a spiritual man. You say you a spiritual woman. And you go pick a sinner. That man say he faithful. So if you a godly man and you marry a godly woman, then guess what she should be? And guess what he would be? Now why would these two people be faithful? Because their God who dwells in them is faithful. You understand how that works? That's how that works. So like I told you before, because we looking at Yasharal, y'all were just faithful what we read in 1 Chronicles 5. They smashed all the enemies that they fought against and turned right around and served the gods of the people who God couldn't even raise up to defend them. Do you know what I'm saying? Couldn't even raise up to defend them. So that means the whole time you never wanted a godly spouse. You wanted Baal. Nigga, you just beat Baal's whole family. Now let me go serve Baal, because that's who I love. That doesn't make any sense. Meaning you couldn't have had a longing and a craving and a desire for this man. How's that possible? That'd just be like this here, right? You go do a bid. Your old lady holds you down the whole bid. Send you money. Some states you can get a care package. I don't think they do conjugal visits no more. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, he talking to the baby. You know what I'm talking about? Have bread for you when you get out. Fresh clothes. You know what I'm talking about? All that good stuff. And you go sleep with the next hoe walking. I ain't even talking about, you ain't even touched nobody in the pen. You ain't pulled no homosexual activity. You know what I'm saying? You just had a woman hold you down. Okay, nigga, what's that nigga name? Nigga talk all that stuff about how Gucci wife did all that stuff for you. You know what type of nigga you'd have to be to go sleep with another woman after she do something like that? You know what type of nigga you is? You are a maggot of the highest order. You know what I'm saying? Because you left this woman, because this woman was faithful. That means she held you down, she left you with more than what you came with, and she kept her legs closed. And she kept her legs closed. And what did you do? Treacherous. That ain't right. And that's how we do y'all. I left you with a land. You didn't have to do nothing for it. They were vineyards that were already planted, houses that were already built, wells that were already digged. I'm going to stand up for fight for you. I'm going to give you the power to get wealth. Anything you need or want, I'm going to give it to you. And you said, let me get Baal. Matter of fact, you say, man, we don't know what happened to that Moses, man. He been up there for a minute. Man, go ahead and make the golden calf for Aaron. We don't. Just watch this man kill everybody's firstborn son and cattle. Just watch this man drown a whole army in the sea. Just watch this man send locusts. Just watch this man. Boy, it's light on Goshen. It's dark everywhere else. And if they were black people, you know what we probably did? Well, there was difference between light and dark, probably jumping in between both, laughing at the people. Y'all ain't got no light. Look at my foot, it's dark, now it's light. Straight up. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can't see me. All that type of stuff. You know what I'm talking about? And what you turn around and do? We don't know no Yahuwah. This is our God. That's treacherous. That's transgressing. That's unfaithful. That's why I sit back and look at it, right? I'll tell somebody on the natural side, if you know you're going to cheat on your wife or your husband, why get married? So why you going to get immersed if you know you're going to cheat on your husband? Why do it? Why even sit back and say, I'm going to be your wife if you know you weren't going to be faithful to him? You should have stayed single or stayed home. Then to sit back and say, let me get in the water so I can be this man's bride, that's retarded. You unfaithful bastard. You don't want your old lady to cheat on you, but you cheat on your husband all the time. How that work? That don't make no sense to her. That's how we do the Most High though. That don't make no sense. Don't make no sense. And that's what we get into with the hypocrisy. Remember I told y'all this last night? You wonder why your kids don't listen. Because you don't listen. So why would they? Then you get mad at them because they not listening, and that's how, because we finna talk about that. What I told you last night, if you're going to pray for somebody, what you ought to pray for them for? For y'all to bust that nigga upside his head. You know what I'm talking about? Bust that nigga upside his head so he'll listen. You don't sit back and say, please, Lord, take this lust out my heart. You know how he going to take that lust up out your heart? Bust you upside your head. That's how he going to get that lust up out your heart. He just ain't going to sprinkle some pixie dust on you and you going to start lusting. He finna bust you upside your head to get you to stop lusting. We gonna read that too. I promise we'll. We gonna read that too. Ain't you think that's the proper way to get something up out of you? You think, see, that's what we want because we sorry. You know what I'm saying? We live in a society that just feel like everybody's supposed to do stuff for you and you're not supposed to do nothing for yourself.
Stop it, EJ.
You know what I'm saying? How many of y'all when you was younger was always told, just pray to God, he'll take that out your heart? How many of y'all ever been told that before? How many of you ever said that before? How many of you ever read that before? In here. How many of y'all ever read that in here before? I ain't never read it. You ever read it? You ever read it? I ain't never read it. So guess what that means? You got to get this stuff out your heart through your own discipline and work. And you know what? And y'all can expedite that process by busting you upside your head. You know what I'm talking about? Bow. Because guess what? You whoop them kids for what? Because you going to learn today. You put them in that corner for what? Because you're going to learn today. You take them TVs and them video games and all that other stuff from you. I was young one time. I forgot what I did. I'm going to take all these cribs and give back. She sure took them back too. Every last one of them. Except for a Reebok tracksuit.
Once you make sure you're warm, baby. Make sure you have a jacket on your back, baby.
I already had a jacket. You know what I'm talking about?
Mom, you took his clothes, you took his gifts.
Yeah, that nigga threw all the time. She ain't throw them away. She made me throw them away. Yeah, that would have war. You ain't clean that room. And use it. And lose it. I remember my homeboy said, that ain't right. They bought it for you. You don't do your kid like that. Shoot, you live in my house, nigga, but you me. But guess what? That's what y'all did.
Took it right from you.
Took you right from you. Oh, you don't want to listen? I'll take the rain away.
He ain't throw it away though.
See, he ain't just put you out. He took certain things away. Then when that didn't work, he sent niggas through to bust you upside your head. And when that didn't work, he said, well, y'all just move out then.
I'm going to give it to them.
And I'm going to give it to them because y'all not finna live here. See, matter of fact, let's look at that because I told you when you break a covenant, you got to die. First, Ezekiel chapter 5 and verse 1. You got to die. That's why Yahushua had to die. You break this covenant, you got to die. See, I'm going to tell you something right now. That goes for anybody. If you see a man who faithful to Yah, then you should know that man will be faithful to you. If you see a woman who faithful to Yah, then you would know that woman will be faithful to you in all areas of life. Not just not having sex with another person. In all areas of life. Because they showing themselves to be faithful to God. So clearly it would be nothing for them to be faithful to a person. You see somebody who's unfaithful to God, I'll show you somebody who will be unfaithful to you in every area of life. See, the only thing niggas worried about somebody being faithful with is them not climbing on top of somebody else. It's more to being faithful than just that. Go ahead. Ezekiel chapter 5 and verse 1.
It said, "And thou, O son of man, take thee a sharp knife, take thee a barber's razor, and cause it to pass upon thy head and upon thy beard.
Get your hair cut.
And take thee balances to weigh and divide the hair.
Cut your beard off too.
Thou shalt burn with fire a third part of the midst of the city.
Mm-hmm.
When the days of the siege are fulfilled, thou shalt take a third and smite about it with the knife, and the third thou shalt scatter in the wind, and I will draw out the sword after them."
He'll draw out the what?
The sword after them.
Go ahead.
"Thou shalt also take thereof a few in number, and bind them in thy skirts. Then take of them again, and cast them into the midst of the fire, and burn them in the fire.
Woo!
For thereof shall the fire come forth into all the house of Yasharal."
That's ugly right there. Y'all know what he telling? He finna tell you. You know what he telling you, right? He finna kill him.
Thus said Yahuwah Elohim, "This is Jerusalem. I have set it in the midst of the nations and countries that are round about her. And she hath changed my judgments into wickedness, more than the nations and the statues, more than..."
Look at that there. Now that's another transgression of the covenant. Did you catch that? He said you took my judgments and you did what with them? Changed them to wickedness. So hold on. Let's examine. Them strong words right there. Ain't them strong words right there. When we look at she have changed, it's marah. The word marah means to be contentious or disobedient or rebellious. So when he's saying she changed my judgments into wickedness, not that she changed the word, but that she rebelled against it. That she rebelled against it. And the word marah is spelled with 3 characters. Oh, Meribah.
Oh, okay.
You got the mean, the rosh, and the hate. So what is getting revealed? The thoughts of sin. That's what happens when you change his judgments to wickedness. Matter of fact, since I said that, give me Isaiah. Isaiah, the book of Isaiah. Hold on. The book of Isaiah. What's that? This nigga real wild.
I see.
Yeah.
Reverend Brown.
That nigga that wild. Send this nigga home. Hey, Isaiah chapter 3, right, at verse 8.
"For Jerusalem is ruined, and Yehuda is fallen, because her tongue and her doings are against Yahuwah to provoke."
So not only so what does it mean when your mouth is against Yahuwah? You talking against him. You a murmurer, you a complainer, you a blasphemer. That's what the beast gonna do. You gonna run his mouth. You got a lot of people run their mouth. Oh, I'm Kemet Science, yo God, this, you got that. Y'all don't bother me. You keep on talking to him. I can't beat you up. He can do something to you I couldn't imagine doing. Woo! That was ugly for you. Go ahead.
It says, "For Jerusalem is ruined, and Yehuda is fallen, because their tongue and their doings are against Yahuwah to provoke the eyes of his esteem. The shoe of their countenance does wickedness against them."
So the look on their face witness against them.
Witness against them, and they declare their sin as Sodom, and they hide it not. Woe unto their soul, for they have rewarded.
Let me ask y'all a question. And it's a simple question. How did Sodom declare their sin? How did Sodom declare their sin? Yeah, when they popped up out there, they were open with it. Shoot, it's raining men.
Men, cat, dog, and goats.
What you say? It's raining. You ain't never heard that song before? Yeah, she ain't never heard that song. That's a song. I just ain't want to say the last part of it, what she said, because that was real harsh to say praise y'all after you talking about it's raining men.
You ain't never heard that? It's old.
Yeah, that done something. Well, sound like it.
Tell them.
Sound like it. They all sound the
It's
same.
the weather girl.
Well, weather girl with some hoes, because she said it's raining men. Hallelujah, it's raining men.
Rain and pickle.
Rain and pickle. It's a pickle shower.
Praise the Lamb.
She like to say, praise the Lord. It's raining pickles. Dill pickles. Yes, punks like that song, which is very ironic.
Well, I wouldn't know anything about it.
I only know that from movies, because every movie and TV show when that song is played is faggots. I guarantee you've seen some television show or some movie where men were getting off to that song. Oh my. That's not a shock. Especially dealing. Shoot, the other one probably gayer. Sean, the other one probably gayer.
I really do like those. I don't believe it. And all the scary movies, he was gay. Yeah, everyone scary movie.
Yeah, he played the punk in every one.
Good
Too good. Too good. Oh, the nigga's a pickle bandit. Go ahead, man. Oh, eggplant nigga.
That wasn't him though, but that's his movie.
That nigga said he like corn on the cob.
All right, we have Isaiah 3 and 10. It says, "Say ye to the righteous, that it shall be well with him, for they shall eat the fruit of their doings. Woe unto the wicked, it shall be ill with him, for the reward of his hand shall be given him."
You're gonna get what you're looking for. That's good. What was that for that? You still Ezekiel? Come on back, Ezekiel chapter 5. I'm gonna burn you with fire. Little hottie. That's what happens. Scotty too hottie. Get yourself in trouble. Get yourself in trouble.
Yeah, verse 7.
Verse 7.
"Therefore thus says Yahuwah Elohim, because ye multiply more than the nations that are round about you, and have not walked in my statutes, neither have kept my judgments."
Hold on, go back to that where we was at with that.
What, change my
Verse 6.
judgment?
Read it again.
He said, "And she have changed my judgments into wickedness more than the nations, and my statutes more than the countries that were round about her. For they have refused my judgments, and my statutes they have not walked in them."
Remember now, judgment, which word for judgment would you think would be there? Mishpat or Shaphat? Which one y'all think would be there? And that's what's there. So the destruction of the words that cause sin, they ain't dealing with that because they've sat back and they rebelled against those instructions. And in their rebellion, it revealed their thoughts of sin, which is why Mashiach told you that it's not what goes into a man, but what comes out. Matter of fact, give me Matthew chapter 12, right? Probably about verse 30.
Matthew chapter 12, verse 30. "He that is not with me is against me, and he that gathereth not with me scattereth abroad.
Scatter abroad.
Wherefore I say unto you, all manner of sin and blasphemy shall be forgiven to men, but the blasphemy against the Ruach HaKodesh shall not be given unto men.
Sure won't.
And whosoever speaketh the word against the Son of Man, it shall be forgiven him. But whosoever speaketh against the Ruach HaKodesh, it shall not be given him, neither in this world, neither in the world to come.
You're going to hell is what he's telling you. Go ahead.
Neither make the tree good and its fruit good.
Say either, not neither.
Either make the tree good or its fruit good, or else make the tree corrupt and his fruit corrupt. For the tree is known by his fruit. O generation of vipers, how can ye, being evil, speak good things?
How can you be what?
Being evil, speak good things.
How many evil people y'all done met try to speak good things? He said, how can you? When he say generation of vipers, what he calling them? Snakes. How can a generation of devils say something good? Go ahead.
It says, for out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth.
Out of the abundance of the what?
The heart, the mouth speaks.
That's why it's important that what come out your heart going to reveal what your thoughts is. Because in the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. See, that goes back to wherever you lay your treasure at, your heart will be also. See, the stuff that's in your heart, that's what come out. If niggas having a lot of carnal conversations, that's what's in his heart. Do you know what I'm saying? That mean that nigga's not faithful. We talking about faithful to y'all. How many people say all I want to hear is job well done, good and faithful servant and all that there? Well, to be faithful is to be steadfast in this man's word all the time. We did talk about that's what patience means, to endure. Niggas is not enduring this man word because you don't want to do it. You don't really want to do it. You know what I'm saying? You feel like you have to do it. I done told you this before, man. If you're going to go to hell doing every single solitary thing that you want to do. You know what I'm saying? Don't go to hell halfway serving. That don't make no sense.
No.
If you're going to get the same condemnation as somebody who was living all the way live, for you living partially, you might as well live all the way live. But if you want a full reward for your salvation, then you need to live fully and faithfully towards this man. Because guess what? Yahuwah is faithful. See, everybody scream how faithful Yahuwah. The book tell you this in the book of Proverbs. He said, every man proclaim his own goodness, but a faithful man who can find? Niggas will tell you quick, I'm faithful, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, that, that, and the third. Solomon said, who can find this nigga? Because I ain't found one. You know what I'm saying? But praise Yahuwah, we found one. That's why we're here right now. Matter of fact, we didn't find it. Thomas didn't find him. Brought him to Peter them. Matter of fact, we can't even say they found him. He found us. We ain't find him. He came looking for us. We ain't go looking for him. Yeah, your wife said that last night. You niggas funny. It is the truth.
Man, one thing he lied about.
Now he ain't lied about that. He lied about a lot of other things. He lied about that though. But think about that though. That what it mean to be. Get Revelation chapter 3. I got it. It look like you changing the butt. Nah, go ahead, man. Oh, that nigga gone. Shoot. I'm just saying, you got wipes over there. Look like you changing the bottom.
Revelation
chapter 3, verse 5. I mean, shoot. You help make him shoot. Change his butt.
It said that he that overcometh the same shall be clothed in white raiment, and I will not blot out his name.
Make that verse 14. Revelation 3 and 14. We just want that one verse.
He said, unto the Malachim of the assembly of the Lacedaemonians, write these things, said the Amen, the faithful and the true witness.
He the what?
He is the true witness.
He's the faithful. Yahushua was faithful. Now go to Hebrews chapter 3 and verse 1. That man, 3 and 1. This man say he was faithful. Remember, that's what I'm just talking about what Solomon said. He said, every man proclaim his own goodness, but a faithful man who can find. You know what we taking that to? The dude came to Hamashiach and he said, good master, what shall I do to enter into the kingdom? What was Yahushua's response? That wasn't his response. That wasn't his response. When he said, good master, what shall I do? He said, why calleth me good? There's none good but Elohim. See, he wasn't proclaiming himself to be a faithful man at that particular point. But we see here in Revelation, he plainly and clearly says he was faithful. Why? Because the work had been finished for him to be declared faithful. He hadn't fulfilled the job yet for him to say I'm good and I'm faithful yet. You know what I'm saying? So I can't open my mouth and say that. Because then, guess what? Every man proclaim his own goodness, but a faithful man who can find. He didn't proclaim his goodness to nobody. He told his disciples what he was coming to do. But he didn't proclaim his goodness after his resurrection. He did, though, with no hesitation, as he should have. As he should have. That's why I told y'all that last night. What Paul stated. He said, I haven't attained the resurrection of the dead, so I keep going. We ain't did nothing yet. How many of y'all done resurrected from the dead? You ain't did nothing yet. I ain't did nothing yet. Guess what? If I done been doing it for 9 years, I got to keep going. Y'all willing another 9. And guess what? If I went going another 9, I still ain't attained nothing. Because I'm still alive. You know what I'm saying? It won't be over until you complete the course and you stayed steadfast and faithful to the faith. You got a man say you got to endure to the end. So if your time period in the word was 25 years, 5 years, 60 years, you got to hold it down for the duration. You know what I'm saying? Ain't none of that. That man ain't looking at, well, you had a good 10-year run. You slipped up for a little bit, but it's okay. Kill that nigga. That's how you feel. If you're going to get in it, you in it for the long haul. See, that's another thing talking about how people be ready for a wedding and not a marriage. You get married, you in it for the long haul.
Niggas do be preparing for that wedding and honeymoon.
Ain't nobody preparing for the marriage. I don't even know why nigga preparing for a honeymoon in the world. You've been hunting along before you got married, so I don't even know what you're preparing for.
You get to travel.
Get to travel. Shoot, we were traveling and hunting before we got married. Shoot.
It's legit.
It's legit. Now, this is legit traveling hunch. Bird class traveling hunch.
That was the rough drive.
Seriously though, think about that though. What do you know what I'm saying? Like, what you preparing for something that you already were playing house? See, I never understood that. I've never done that in my entire life. I don't know how a nigga take care of a woman he ain't married to like that's his wife. That's retarded. If you're going to do all that, you need to go ahead and get your last name and stop playing. And truth be told, if you can't take her hand out of daddy pockets, you can't be a husband no way. You know what I'm saying? Shoot, man, that dead serious though, bro. Nigga preparing for a show and some sex, not the work. Cause marriage is work. That's not necessarily like people sit back and look like hard work. People make it hard because they say it's hard work because individuals don't want to do the work necessary to require to maintain a close quarter relationship with another person. You know what I'm saying? When you live with a nigga, that person is butt naked. They're naked in your eyesight. There's nowhere they can hide. You know everything about them. You know what I'm saying? And it's stuff that they do that you don't like, and it's stuff that you do that they don't like. I told you before, right? How many of you in here would marry somebody because you love them? You'd marry somebody because you love them? You would. Would you marry somebody because you love them? Why not? Because what? You must have watched that before you came over here. What love got to do with it? You don't even know who sang that song. Who sang the song? Who sang it? You had to think about it too. Cut the movie. That's all you know. That's horrible. Callie, you married somebody because you love them. What else would you marry him for? All that well and good. I wouldn't marry a nigga because I like him. I wouldn't marry a nigga because you could like an idiot. You could love an idiot. Do you know what I'm saying? You could love somebody who has no ambition whatsoever. What have you accomplished?
A lot.
Like what?
I got my own place. I got my own car.
Nigga, get your black behind out of here. You supposed to do that. Yeah, that nigga done pulled the rod. That nigga done pulled the rod.
That was a movie scene.
That was Rod. She done pulled a rod.
She done pulled the rod.
I think Rod moved, but I don't think he did that.
Guess what though? All jokes aside though, you don't get no credit for that. That's what you're supposed to do. That ain't no accomplishment. I hope you learned. I hope you accomplished how to wipe your butt good.
That was bad.
Like that the hard way, you know. Okay, next person.
He wasn't kidding. But the reason why I say that there is right because when we turn around and look at it, right, Yahuwah married an idiotic wife. You know what I'm saying? And he didn't marry this woman for no other reason because of who? 3 men. 3 men caused him to marry the most dumbest woman in the world. And he manifested that love to this woman in numerous different ways. And she was still entirely stupid for the duration. You know what I'm saying? So the reason why I mention that is if you do love somebody and they're not an idiot, that you should be able to have that manner of patience with them if you married to them the same way that this man had with his wife. Or the same way you would have with your own people. You know what I'm talking about? Because you know it's good. You want to make sure you love the person and you like them, but you definitely don't want to be like you got a lot of people that marry somebody and then find out after they marry them they're not good with money. Do you know what I'm saying? And that causes a strain on the marriage because it causes arguments. It causes clashing because one person is frugal, the other person is a free spender, and those two things don't mix. You know what I'm saying? Because it's going to cause conflict. One person's clean, the other person's messy. It's going to cause conflict. You know what I'm saying? One person's family oriented, the other person's not. One person want kids, the other person don't. You know what I'm saying? And don't nobody have those type of conversations. One person got life goals, the other nigga just like, well, shoot, I didn't want to go to work tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Like I tell the women like this, as a man, Let me ask you this question. With Yahuwah, did he have a vision for his wife? He had a plan and a vision for his wife. As a man, you're supposed to have a plan and a vision for this woman where you're going to take her to. You know what I'm saying? Nigga get married, this woman don't even know. All she know is that nigga going to take her out to eat tonight. He taking me out tonight. Where he taking you in life? Shoot, I don't know, girl, but that restaurant was good. We went dancing, and all that stuff is good. Don't get me wrong. You know what I'm saying? That stuff is good, but it's not at the top of the priority list. So we talking about an immature mind. You know what I'm saying? An immature way of thinking. And then you get yourself in a real life situation and position, and then you're not capable of handling it, and then people end up doing what? Getting divorced. That's what I'm really talking about. And then in our way of life, you can't get divorced, so now you probably married to somebody you don't even like. Now you're like, hey, why I married this? And you don't need to do that. You need to make sure that's what you want. Make sure that's what you want. Not because your loins is on fire, but that's what you want. Not because you're lonely, because that's what you want. Because you're going to have to live with this nigga possibly for the next 20 to 30 years of your life. And y'all young, so shoot. We could tack another 10, 15 on top of that. What you say, Shayla? You ain't right. I don't know what it was. Nah, I'm just talking. You know what I'm saying? But you got to think about, you're going to be with this person for the next 30 years. You're going to make major life decisions with this person for the next 30 years. You know what I'm saying? You're going to eat meals with this person for the next 30 years. You're going to make trips with this person for the next 30 years. And this nigga's stupid. See, some people don't value intelligence, so they don't care. You know what I'm saying? See, it depends what you value. I value intelligence. So if you stupid, this is going to be frustrating for me. You know what I'm saying? What if this person don't have maternal instincts? What if this nigga can't teach your children nothing? Like, why would you marry a nigga can't teach the kids nothing? So that means he ain't taught you nothing. All he taught you what to do was to get naked. That's all he taught you. And make some Kool-Aid. Come on. Luke chapter 19, verse 41.
Why ain't I no Kool-Aid so long?
I mean, neither. Not no real Kool-Aid. I done had some Kool-Aid jammers.
Oh, hey, man. They shouldn't even be called Kool-Aid jammers. They need to be called jammers.
Why? Because they ain't make it like black people make. They said they ain't trying to get diabetes.
Yeah. Take a man's risk.
Luke 19 and 41. I just something to sit back and consider, man. Because I ain't going to lie to say, I'll tell you anything. I give y'all applicable information. I can't tell you what to do. I wouldn't discourage you from doing something. See, sometimes when somebody asks for your assessment and you give it, they think that you're trying to discourage them from doing something. I'm just giving you my perspective of the situation. You could clearly do whatever you wish. What is your nasty behind over there doing? You drinking that water like it had backwash on it. That's your old lady, cuz. Luke 19:41.
It said, when he was come near, he beheld the city and wept over it, saying, if thou hast known, even thou, at least in this thy day, the things which belongeth unto thy peace, but now they are hid from thine eyes.
So the things that were been for your shalom to destroy your sin, you can't see them. Why is that statement important? We shall see.
For the day shall come upon thee that thine enemy shall cast a trench about thee, and compass thee round, and keep thee in on every side, and shall lay thee even with the ground, and thy children within thee, and they shall not leave in thee one stone upon another.
Not nail stone.
Because thou knowest not the time of thy salvation.
Not thy salvation. Your visitation. So you know what he's telling you? He's telling you what he just told you in Ezekiel. He weeping for these people because, boy, y'all finna leave here. And a third of you going to the sword, a third of you going to captivity, and a third of you going in the fire. You know what I'm saying? Because I got to kill some of you niggas because I'm pissed. And he weeping for them because he know they finna get killed, and none of them know they finna die. And he say the things of your shalom, which is the destroying authority attached to chaos, is what? Hid from your eyes so you can't even see it. Now that's looking. See, that's why I be telling y'all about not listening or not obeying or this, that, there, and the third, because the things that'll be for your peace, that man won't even let you see it. He told you that in Hebrew chapter 2. He said, let us give us the more earnest seed to the things that we have heard, lest they slip. Lest they slip. Come on, man. I need Job 36. Because we got to get ready to run down to the part that I need the most. And that is 36 and 5. Sire. Ain't nothing over there for you. I seen you. I didn't know that was a trash can back there. Sire walking like she got to do them.
Joel 31.
36 and 5.
Yeah. Behold, Elohim is mighty and despises not any. He is mighty in strength and wisdom.
He is what?
He is mighty in strength and wisdom. He preserveth not the life of the wicked.
He preserve not who?
The life of the wicked.
He don't preserve the life of the wicked.
But giveth right to the poor.
He give right to the poor. Now let's pause. When we look at right, what the word that we've used today do you think right would be? We use judgment, mishpat. So that means he gives judgment or the destruction of the words that are of sin to those who are poor or humble. Does anybody remember what characters we use for Ane? Because I surely don't. I'm looking at it right now.
It was 3, right?
It was 3. I'm looking at it and I think it was a what? I ain't with you. I know it's the noon in the yard.
Yeah, I ain't know y'all.
So what is that? The experiencing of the work of life. That's what happens for a poor person. Poor being weak and afflicted and humble. So remember what we read in Luke. They didn't know the time of their visitation. It was hid from their eyes, their shalom. What caused their shalom to be hid from their eyes? It was their pride. They were not humble because they were steady. And we just used a couple things. We looked at one because we could go knee deep dealing with idolatry. We just skimmed the surface on that. We ain't even really go that deep on dealing with idolatry. And we looked at them breaking the Sabbath. We read a couple places where they were committing adultery. We've read where the prophets were telling the people lies and strengthening them in their sin, so they stayed like that. You know what I'm saying? When you look at most Hebrews and most Christian dudes, they focus on everything other than eliminating sin out of the people. Coming together in unity and building stuff is great. It ain't good if they sinners and y'all gonna kill them though. You know what I'm saying? Speaking against oppression is exactly what you're supposed to do. But you can't neglect speaking against sin in the same breath. You know what I'm saying? Like how he said, right? You should have done, when he told them all you want to do is tithe the mint, the anise, and the cumin, and omitting the judgment, mercy, and faith, and you knock the knee to other undone. If you're going to do it, do the whole thing. Don't pick the stuff you feel like is easy or the stuff that's very, very important to you, and then omit the things that's important to those who need to be saved. I think the wall was more hurt than healed. Well, I got you at. So look at this one, right? 36 and 7. I thought I was thinking about what I was going to say. So he said he don't preserve sinners. He don't do it. When we look at preserve, now this is what the text say. This is what I say. It's kaya, it's live. We already dealt with that. You're not getting separated by the right hand. He's not separating you to life off of that. He's not going to preserve your life. He's not going to preserve it. See, guess what they tell people? He going to save you now. He's a merciful God to those who repent. Continue on, sir. 36 and 7, Job.
He says he will draw not his eyes from the righteous, but with kings they are on the throne. Yea, he doth establish them forever, and they are exalted.
Pause. Withdraw. Of course, that word is garah, and it literally means he doesn't keep back or restrain. So he doesn't restrain his eyes from looking upon your troubles. 1 Peter chapter 3 and verse 7.
It say, likewise, ye husbands dwell with them according to knowledge.
Well, make that 10. I don't need all that.
It says, for he that will love life and see good days, let him refrain his tongue from evil, and let his lips that they speak no guile. Let him eschew evil and do good, and let him seek shalom and ensue it. For the eyes of the master are over the righteous, and his ears are open unto their prayers, but the face of the master is against them which do evil. And who is he that will harm you if ye be fathers of
That's
that
good,
which is
right? His face is always upon the righteous. Always. He's not going to keep back or pull his face back. Continue back in Job 36 and 8.
It said, if they be bound in feathers and be holding in cords of affliction, then he showeth them their work.
Pause. So now we look at the next thing. That word holding is lakad. It means to capture, or men in a trap or a snare, or to be captured. Now we got three characters. You got the lamad, and what else?
What else? Bound. What you looking at?
That's bound.
Bound.
Or holding, actually. Holding. That's holding. When they be holding in cords. So holding. Bound is asar.
I saw it.
That means to imprison. So if they be imprisoned in fetters, fetters being a spark, a missile, a firebrand, a flaming arrow, or a fetter, but holding in cords of affliction. That word for cords is kavel, and it means sorrow and travail. So if they be imprisoned in fetters, captured in sorrow of affliction. What do you think that could mean? Because that last word is one, for affliction, poverty, and misery, or trouble. So he's telling you, if you be imprisoned in fetters, taken in the sorrow of affliction. We talked about it last night. Well, let's look and see. Matthew 27:1.
Sit down.
Matthew 27:1. When they locked Jeremiah, we talked about Jeremiah up last night. Did they put him in fetters when they locked him up? You better know they did. Did they put Samson in fetters when they locked him up? Sure did. He broke his though. Come on.
It say, when the morning was come, all the chief priests and elders of the people took counsel against Yahushua to put him to death. When they had bound him, they led him away.
When they bound him, they imprisoned him then, didn't they? Just like what we seeing, right? Now he's been holding, or he's been taken or snared in the pain of affliction. We read last night that he said he was exceedingly sorrowful even unto death, did he not? Now remember, this is taking us back to the things of your shalom are hidden from your eyes. Come on back, man, to Job. We in verse 9.
It says, then he showed them their work and their transgressions that they have.
Now, pause. Now, when we look at show, it's nagad. That means he makes it known. He declares it. Now, transgression is a different word. It's pesha. It means to rebel. It's three characters. Clearly, pay is one of them. Then we just talk about what would be the other two? And we just talked about it too. Pesha. Pay is one of them.
That was covered transgressions.
And what would be the last? The hay. The hay. Yeah, I'm looking at the other part. I'm looking at the wrong thing. I'm looking at the H and the pronunciation. So guess what you're looking at? You're experiencing what? What are you experiencing if we talking about if the last character is Ayin, what are you experiencing? Or would we turn around and look at it, would it be the commands of your heart join you together to experience death because of your rebellion? Because it ain't nothing but the words of your heart. So I mentioned that beforehand. What did we just read in Matthew, right? He said the abundance of the heart, the mouth, what? So that means the commandments or the thoughts in your own mind is what is going to cause you to speak. So the abundance and the joining together of sin in your own mind is what causes you to be to experience this man's wrath. Because he say he has to show you your transgressions where you have exceeded. See, this is what I was talking about if you want y'all to get a nigga, pray he bust them upside their head. You know what I'm talking about? Because this is what we talking about. Because this is exactly what we talking about. Because when he say exceeded, that is gabar, and it means to prevail or to have strong strength, to be strong, to be powerful, or to act proudly towards Elohim. So now he has to sit back and show you how your rebellion has made you be proud towards Yahuwah. And rebellion is as the sin of what? And he said in the law you can't allow a witch to do what? So you can't get the ruach if you're in a rebellious state. He won't allow you to receive it. It's not going to happen. Verse 10 in Job 36.
He said he opens also their ear to discipline.
He opened a what?
That they return from iniquity.
So he opens their ear to discipline. When we look at he opened, that word is galah, and it means to uncover, to make known, and to show, and to reveal. Now when we look at discipline, that's that chastening and correction. We just talked about that not too long ago. And that's Masar. But then he say he commands them. So now that's a mark to return from iniquity. To turn your behind back. Look at verse 11.
It said, if they obey and serve him,
now go ahead.
They shall spend their days in prosperity and their years in pleasures.
For if they obey, what Hebrew word do you think is there for if they obey? To hear. Shema. To listen, to obey. Because faith come by hearing, and hearing come by the word. So he told you, I'm going to open your ear to discipline or chastening and correction, and if you hear it, I will save your soul. That's what he just told you. And guess what he said? It was hidden from Jerusalem eyes. They couldn't see it. Why they couldn't see it? Because of the pride that was in their heart. Because Yahushua was coming trying to show them their transgressions where they have exceeded, where they were acting proud towards Elohim, and they couldn't see it. They couldn't see it. That's what happens with most people. They can't see it because they don't want to see it. When you love doing what you want to do, you ain't gonna never, I don't even care if you in the word or not. If you love doing what you want to do, you'll never hear somebody coming to tell you right with you. You ain't gonna never hear it because that ain't what you want to hear, because that ain't what you're trying to do. Now I'm gonna use the most extreme example because they're usually in public acting the most extreme. But if you take the quote unquote lesbian, transgender community and homosexuals and all that, you can't tell them nothing. Not about what they doing, that it's a sin. They don't want to hear that. I remember one time, man, this right before I had started smoking weed, right? Next door neighbor's brother or uncle or cousin was a punk. So he was riding with us to go get the weed. You know what I'm saying? So he was like, yeah, man, you believe in the Bible? I'm like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Not a big deal. So he go to talking. He was like, you know, I'm trying to get my soul right. I said, well, you know you're going to hell for taking it in the butt. Boy, you know you can't do that. That man said, I know, man, I know, but I'm just hoping he have mercy on me. You know that man ain't having no mercy on you. You know what I'm saying? But the difference was in the conversation was he was more receptive. Most niggas would just come for the homosexual's whole head. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you can still be direct and rebuking and be compassionate in the same breath. Because a nigga won't come for his homeboy who a fornicator and a whoremonger or an adulterer like he gonna come for that punk. It seems like nigga get amped up to ready to smash that punk. You a faggot and all that type of stuff. But you don't look at your homeboy, you adulterous, no good bastard. Boy, you got a good woman to the house. You steady cheating on her, you gonna burn in hell, you wicked nigga. You be like, bro, you know that ain't right how you do your wife, bro. That's what niggas do.
That's how you supposed to do the pump, man.
That's how you supposed to do the pump.
I can't cut the nigga that cut my hair. Like, man, my pastor preached on. He was talking about them homosexuals, they going to hell. I'm like, bro, you be talking about them, know what you did, and you be doing it and all that. I'm like, bro, this is the logic of it.
Because the reason being, because niggas are disgusted by a sodomite. They not disgusted by a fornicator. They not disgusted by an adulterer. They're not disgusted by a whoremonger. They're not disgusted by a liar. So that same vitriol and rage or quote unquote righteous indignation that they'll have for this homosexual, they don't have for the other person who over here doing this. So they'll have more compassion on the whoremonger than they will the punk. when the whoremonger and the punk gonna get the same reward, fire and worms. You know what I'm saying? You can be direct and be compassionate. You know what I'm saying? It can be done. I can look at you. I mean, my homeboy came and told me one day. He said, "Bro, I'm gonna go to hell for what I be doing." I said, "Bro, you already know the answer to that question. I don't even know why you asked me that." You know what I'm saying? Because I done already sat down and opened this book up and showed you that the way that we were living, or the way that he was currently living, but you know what I'm saying? That we can't do that, bro, and expect to be saved. You know what I'm saying? Now he wasn't trying to be. He really wanted to see if I was gonna tell him the truth. That's really why he asked me that. You know what I'm saying? But he knew I was gonna tell him the truth. I mean, my homeboy got mad at me because I wouldn't take credit for some prophylactics he had in his car that his old lady found. I said, man, your old lady know I don't have sex, bro. This woman know I serve the Lord. This woman know a nigga celibate, bro. So why would I besmirch you who is good name so your old lady don't go off on you for what you actually doing? Because you actually cheating on her. And that woman already knew them condoms wasn't mine. And you calling me over there like this. I said, man, I don't know nothing about that. I need you to tell me, bro, you supposed to take credit for that. No, I wasn't. No, I wasn't. She already knew that though. But she wanted to see what I was going to say. Because I've been sitting in your house talking to you about this and talking to you about that and showing you this and showing you that. And I want to see, do you love Yahuwah or do you love your friend? That's all it was. Shoot, I chose Yahuwah. That nigga will be alright. He's still my nigga to this day. You know what I'm saying? But that nigga know he'll bring it up every now and then. Boy, you supposed to take credit for them rubbers, boy. No, I wasn't. No, I wasn't.
You still with her?
No.
I'd say she's still.
Shoot, she was already, man. Shoot, she had at least 10 plus years on her. Shoot, I'm the age of her oldest son. Let's just put it that way. Did you? Regularly. Nigga live with her. What you mean?
Hey, that mean he was too then, huh?
Well, he was young.
So he was younger than you.
Yeah.
So you couldn't have taken care of his son. Whoa.
She was a cougar.
Whoa.
She was a cougar. What you mean?
So you saying she was in a relationship with a dude that was younger than her oldest son?
Yeah, because I was the same age as her. I am the same age as her oldest son. I think now she's probably 54 years old.
Ain't nothing right about that.
At the time, she might have been like 46, 45.
This nigga was 20. 30.
Mid to late 20s. I mean, at that time, I was 29, 30, 31, something like that. So, yeah.
That ain't right.
Shoot, some women like older men.
Younger man. It ain't right. It ain't right if I'm 40 years old and I'm hitting a girl that's my daughter age. It ain't nothing right about that either. True. I don't think it's right either way.
Some people like young women, man. Some people like young men.
That means you would knock off one of your daughter friends at that point.
Sure, they very well may would.
And vice versa.
I mean, she was a cougar, so. But also at the same token, though, I understand where you coming from. But then you know, in our culture, an older man marrying a younger woman was quite common.
I know. I'm just saying. I look at it the same way.
What is that age range?
It was quite common. They usually wanted, and it'll say culturally, and I'm not going to say necessarily Hebrew culture, but Eastern culture, they usually like to give a woman to a man that was about 10 to 15 years older than her. Do you know what I'm saying? And that was just for the purpose of his experience. You know what I'm saying? Of what his ability to be able to direct and lead that young woman. He said, DC just said something about D Wade. I guess I don't know how old Gabrielle Union is, so. I mean, D Wade like 37 though, so shoot, Gabrielle Union ain't that much older.
Yeah, she ain't bitch.
I don't know how old Beyonce is. Well, shoot, that ain't that much of a difference. Shoot, Jay like 49, so that's like a 10, 12 year difference.
I mean, 10 is cool.
That's not that much of a difference.
20 is pushing it to me. That's perfect.
Gabrielle Union 50 years old?
20 is pushing it, bro.
I can't argue with that logic. I can't argue with that at all.
I can run 10, 12. That's understandable. But 20, yeah.
Now I couldn't do 20 either because I couldn't see myself 45 with a 22-year-old.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Because
saying.
I mean, she would have to be an exceptionally well-minded 22-year-old woman. You know what I'm talking about?
Right, I don't know.
No, the reason why I say that, the only way for you, I'm talking about,
You talking about compatibility.
I'm talking about to pique your interest.
I get what you're saying.
That would have to be one exceptional 22-year-old woman to pique a nigga's interest. Because guess what? Men are visual. So he can look at her and she look good. You ain't gonna know she 22 years old.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? You ain't gonna know that.
That ain't always a given.
That's not always a given. You know what I'm talking about? Because I went to school with a chick that she was 15 and niggas thought she was 25. You know what I'm talking about? Because of her development physically. You know what I'm saying? Some girls develop like we were messing with you, like the picture of you when you young, nigga tell you were young. Like when nobody was seeing you in the street, not just your body build, nigga tell you young by your face. Your face look young. But then you got some girls, your face still look young. Shoot, you around here, shoot, you should be happy. You want to be 18 looking 27? You know what I'm talking about? Shoot, that should be no offense. Somebody say, how old you in? You look like you about 15. Shoot, thank you. Shoot, nigga. I'm 22 with kids, nigga. Shoot. Well, I wasn't married. You can take me out on a date. Shoot, that's just what some people say, just being flirted like this. Yeah, I appreciate you. Shoot, I thought I was looking bad for a little while. It made my whole day.
Get that strap around in that.
Oh my. Girl, you about to hang yourself, mother. But, you know what I'm saying? But you talking about 22 years old? Like, if you 45, what does this little girl got in her brain that could even spark something inside of your soul to say, I want to see you every day?
Y'all got little to nothing in common. 2 decades.
This nigga 4 years removed from leaving her mom and dad's house. But that's why I say, if that would happen, and don't get me wrong, regardless of the age, it is some exceptionally minded 22-year-old women out here. But I don't know if they're exceptional enough for a 45-year-old man. That's if you talk about being with them. Now, if you talking about fornicating, you know, shoot, that go both ways. Boy, these niggas don't play no game. Male and female. See, that's the difference. See, they were living together, but man, that junk was just some fornication for a time.
For real.
That dog, of course. That
her too?
Got to be. I want some young meat at the house. That's all. Shoot, some women move a man in the house just so I can have me some penis in the house. Y'all know that. This ain't, they know this ain't going nowhere. Shoot, you ain't that hip. How many friends you got?
I'm talking about older women.
Shoot, older women do it more than the men.
That's what I'm saying. I ain't never really experienced no older woman like that. All my aunties and stuff, they got
married. Yeah, I feel okay. No doubt. Shoot.
I don't know personally no old woman.
Man, I know old women, intermediate women. You know what I'm talking about? Young women move niggas in the house all day long for a little bit of meat. Shoot, so that 21-year-old woman growing to a 45-year-old woman doing it.
Hey, we live.
Boy, I say it's a chick on my page say to the dude she married right now, she say she took care of every nigga she ever been with. I say, dang, baby, what you got going on?
I'm a nurturer.
No, she felt like that's what she was supposed to do, and that's the type of man she was attracted. So she felt like if she with him, that's what she was supposed to do, was to take care of this nigga. Nevertheless, 36 and 12. I have to save the hypocrite stuff for Sunday.
But thou hast fulfilled the judgment of the wicked, and judgment.
Where you at?
36 and 17.
Yeah, that's definitely not 12. It's Job 36. We never left.
But if they obey not, they shall perish by the sword, and they shall die without knowledge.
So if they don't obey, if they don't listen, they gonna die by Yahusha and die without knowledge. They gonna die without understanding. Go ahead.
But the hypocrites in heart.
Oh, there we go. There we can hit the hypocrites now.
He
Praise
brought
the
wrath. They cry not when they bind.
The hypocrites in heart. The word for hypocrite means godless, profane, irreligious, or impious. The word is kanaf. It's 3 characters. You spell it C-H-A-N-E-P-H. Kanaf is how you pronounce it. What would be the first character we would use? I think that's pretty obvious. Indeed. What would be the next character we would use? I think that's pretty obvious.
Kanaf, man.
Kanaf. That's pretty obvious. Naf. There you go. What would be the last character we would use? And truth be told,
Even more obvious.
that's even more obvious. There you go. Very, very simple. So a hypocrite is going to separate himself by not obeying the words of life. Because you got the cot, you got the noon, and the pay. So the commands or the word or the opening or the teaching or the words of Elohim which give life is going to separate this person. But what is causing them to be separated? Because they don't obey them. They don't listen. So he said listen, he said the hypocrites in heart. So your disobedience in your heart separates you from getting life from the word. You won't hearken to it. Let's look at some of the things that Yahuwah likes to say about a hypocrite. Because he got a few things to say about a hypocrite. Let's go to Job chapter 8, about verse 10. Let's see what he got to say about a hypocrite. Matter of fact, all the good stuff about hypocrites is in the book of Job, so we're not moving around too far from that. All the good stuff about a hypocrite in the book of Job. Look, Gene. Oh yeah, look at this here, man. He ain't caught it yet, did he?
I see AD, I see Westbrook, I see James Harden. What is it? No, that's Westbrook?
That's Westbrook.
That's Durant.
That's Durant.
I think it's Durant, though.
MVP James Harden, though. That's what they gonna get to. Come on, man. Job 8 and 10. Make it 8 and 8.
It says, "For inquire, I pray thee, of the former age, and prepare thyself to search of their fathers. For we are but of yesterday, and know nothing, because our days upon the earth are a shadow."
All right, what?
A shadow.
What else?
Shall not they teach thee and tell thee in other words out of their heart? Can the rush grow up without mire? Can the flag grow without water?
Hey, check this out. What is the rush growing up without mire? What is the rush?
It's a plant growing up.
That's a plant growing up. And he say, what does he got to grow up from? From the dirt.
It's saying, yeah, how can the plant grow up?
So guess what? That's that John 11. How can you resurrect from the dead unless you die first? How can you get eternal life unless you die first? Then look at the next thing he said. How can a flag grow without water? What's a flag? Another plant. How can that plant grow without water? The Ruach got to be there for it. Guess what? You cannot enter the kingdom of Elohim unless you be born of water and the Ruach. And it was like, that's what he just told. That's what he just told. Go ahead.
Flag.
The flag.
He said, while it is yet in his greenness and not cut down, it withered before any other herb. Mm-hmm. So are the paths of all that forget Elohim, and the hypocrites' hope shall
So
perish.
guess what? That's what's going to happen. Now look what he said with it. While it's yet in its greenness is not cut down, it withered before any other herb. Why is it withering? Because it hasn't what? Died, and it ain't got no water. So what does that take us to with that canal? Because the desires of your heart have separated you from the words of life, and therefore you don't obey them and you die. Because he said the hypocrites in heart heap up what? Wrath. Go ahead. Notice he said in heart. That means right in here. Right in here. Right in here. You gonna die.
Go put it in the trash. How about that?
Womp womp.
Put it in the trash.
Continue. Look at what he say he gonna do to him.
It says, whose hope shall be cut off, and whose trust shall be a spotted web. He shall lean upon his house, but it shall not stand. He shall hold it fast, but it shall not endure.
He ain't gonna be able to endure. Nothing that person does is gonna be able to stand the test. Come over here to Job 13 and verse 12. Them strong words right there, ain't them?
Your remembrance are like unto ashes, your bodies to bodies of clay. Hold
on. He said, yo, what?
Bodies of clay.
Hold on, let me get that real quick. He said, your remembrance are like unto ashes. When you die, what he tell you? Your thoughts perish. Your love, everything about you perish. Go ahead.
It says, hold your shalom, let me alone, that I may speak and let come on me what will. Wherefore do I take my flesh in my teeth and put my life in my hand? Though he slay me, yet I will trust him, but I will maintain my own ways before him.
This is Job talking, right? Yahushua knew he was going to be slayed, but Yahuwah was going to maintain him. Go ahead. And the reason why I mention that is that you're supposed to know that if you die with Yahushua, Elohim is going to maintain you. Look at the next thing he say.
He says, he also shall be my salvation, for a hypocrite shall not come before him.
A what?
A hypocrite.
A hypocrite will not come before him. Now what is a hypocrite? Someone who's profane and irreligious. But in the terms of the English language, what is a hypocrite? Somebody who say something and do something else. Matthew 23:1. And if you a hypocrite, what are you not? You definitely not faithful. You're definitely not loyal. So therefore you would be treacherous. A transgressor, if you will. Matthew 23:1.
He said, then spake Yahushua to the multitude, to the disciples, saying, the scribes and the Pharisees sit at Moses' seat. All thereof whatsoever they bid of you observe and do, but do ye not after their works.
Why?
They say and do not.
They say and do not.
For they bind heavy burdens. And
that's good right there. They say and do not. Come on back to Job 36 so we can get out of here. Because we still dealing with the part of that Yahushua died to redeem. Because we were hypocrites. Did we not say in the law everything you said to do, we will do? And we broke every single solitary instruction contained in the covenant. And we didn't get to come before Elohim because of it, didn't it? He put us out of his eyesight. As it is this day. Go ahead. We in verse 16. No. We're in verse, read 13 again.
It said, but the hypocrites in heart heap up wrath, they cry not when he bindeth them. They die in youth, and their life is among the unclean.
But look what he do for the poor.
He delivered the poor in his affliction and openeth their ears. In
pause.
oppression.
Now when we look at deliver, the word is kalatz. It is to remove or to draw off or to withdraw the poor in their affliction. Again, it's the anay, its affliction is onay. And then when we look at oppression, it's lakatz, or opening of the ear. Look at the next verse, because the next verse is what I wanted.
It says, even so will he have removed thee out of the strait into a broad place where there is no straightness, and that should be set on thy table should be full of fatness.
Pause.
That which should be set on thy table should be.
Now when he say remove thee out of the strait, the word there is pay. When it says straight, it's the word pay, or the word for mouth.
It's like 3 words right there.
Yeah, it is. And then you got the saw. And then it goes into broad place. I only got 2 on mine.
Oh.
Because then you have the narrow, the tight, and this, that, and the third. But see, I'm going to use both of them, and I'm going to use them in 2 different fashions. The pay is more interesting than the other. So he say, when he has removed thee out of the strait, or out of his commands, or out of his word. What do you think he meaning when he's telling you that in the context of the sentence, if he's removing you out of his word? Not in that instance, and I can see why you would think that. But in the context of the verse, he say, I'll take you from the straight place into a broad place where there is no straightness, where your table will be full of fatness. In actuality, what we're looking at right here is not negative.
I seen that when you said it wasn't after when it said full of fatness.
Yeah, this is not negative. I'm going to show you what he means when he say when we look at the pay, and then we look at the other word, which is really talking about a straight or a tight place. So let's look at Romans 6 and 19.
Oh yeah, because in the other strait it said in that straightness.
Mm-hmm.
You said Romans?
6 and 19. Because in actuality, he's taking you out of a straight place 2 times in 2 different ways.
I speak after the manner of men because of the infirmity of your flesh. For as ye have yielded your members servants to uncleanliness and to iniquity unto iniquity, even so now yield your members servants unto righteousness and kadosh.
Because see, that's what happened when you were transgressing, right? It was revealing the thoughts of your heart, right? What you had going on. Go ahead.
It says, for when ye were servants of sin, you were free from righteousness.
You were what?
Free from righteousness.
So you were in a straight place then, weren't you? It's kind of tight for you. Go ahead.
What fruit had ye then in those things thereof ye are now ashamed? For the end of those things is death.
Mm-hmm.
And now being made free from sin and become servants of Elohim.
Didn't he just say he will remove you? Go ahead.
Ye have your fruit unto Kadosh, and in the end everlasting life.
Go ahead.
For the wages of sin is death, but the gift of Elohim is eternal life through Yahushua Mashiach our Master.
So if he's removing you from the pay, then he's removing you from the word that says that you must what? If you sin, you must die. And then I'm going to take you by that word, which is who? Yahushua, because he the word made flesh. And it's the Ruach that quickeneth, if the flesh profiteth nothing. The words that I speak unto you, they are Ruach and they are life. They will remove you that you will be in a place of no straightness to where you can sit at his table and be full of fatness. It's not the blessing in Genesis 27 about fatness or about wealth, so to speak. So his word will literally, because what 2 characters you going to use for pay? And what is that? The revealed word. The revealed word, or the revealing of Yahushua HaMashiach for the righteous obedience of faith will deliver you from death. Period. And what did that take us back to what we looked in Job 36? If when you are chastened, if when you are disciplined, he will open your ear to be able to take you out of this straight place, which takes us to the next word, which is sorrow, which means of distress or of affliction. So what did you actually need to be removed from your affliction? To hear the word. That's it. It's just that simple. Like it's always going to come down to that simple concept of listening and obeying. No matter what your situation and circumstance was. Because Yahushua was getting ready to die, he listened and obeyed. Let's just be honest with you. And I know it's a difficult question to ask. If you was in this man's shoes with the mind you got right now, how many of y'all would have went ahead and got on that stake, and how many of y'all would have ran away and left everybody? Ain't no sense of lying, because everybody in their room should know I'm turning my back and I'm going to the house. Because you talking about knowing that you're gonna die for people that hate you, that mocked you, that belittled you, that told you was a liar, who didn't believe nothing you said, and with the mind you got now, if you ain't had the mind of Elohim, you're not getting on that stake. You're like, shh, die for who? That nigga? That nigga said something about my mama. He told me I was a devil. You know what I'm saying? Because the reason why I said that was, the book say, from the epistle of Romans, Paul said a righteous man wouldn't even dare to die with it. Said they wouldn't even dare do it. Go ahead and get it. Like, look at that Romans 5. He said they wouldn't dare do it. They wouldn't dare do it. See, nigga talk all that gangster stuff. It's easy to die for your son. Die for your wife. Nigga ain't dying for a whole bunch of niggas. People he don't even know. People who ain't even like. What that's that? 5 and 7.
For scarcely for a righteous man will one die, yet peradventure for a good man some would even dare to die. But Elohim commended his love towards us in that while we were yet sinners, Mashiach died for us.
That's good. That's why I said that there, because the book tells it we wouldn't have did it. I ain't finna sit here and tell you I was gonna do it, and I know that man word said, oh, you wouldn't have did that. You wouldn't have did that. And it's okay. They don't make you no worse of a person. It wasn't meant for you to go do that. All it was meant for you was to die to your own sins and live for Elohim. And to die for your brother if you had to. Eugene, don't escape. And you ain't even know it. You ain't know he escaped. When he sit back in a broad place, That word is a breadth or expanse. What y'all think that mean when he say he gonna lead you in a broad place where there is no straightness? Straightness being constraint or distress. I can accept that. How so? See, that's the good part. Y'all throw them questions. You think that junk satisfied? That junk don't satisfy me. Explain your answer.
Explain yourself.
Straight up. He said he taking you out of a broad place. He's going to put you into a broad place by his words from affliction so that you're no longer in distress. I can accept that. That's what he did, didn't it? So what is the broad place? The broad place ain't sin.
The broad place will take you.
Revelation 21:1. This is the kingdom. Revelation 21:1.
I ain't want to. Like you said, that sin tight on you.
Tight. That junk tight.
Suffocate though.
I can't breathe. Like that thing you had on the other night. You couldn't look like it. Looked like your shoulder caps were finna bust. They wasn't getting no oxygen. That nigga was breathing like this.
You don't know what that's all for. You don't know what that's all for.
I can't. It ain't coming out.
They be in the safe. Put the crack in the safe. You like, I don't know how long you gonna be able to breathe. You breathe like this.
Like this nigga nose ain't inhaling the whole time.
Richard Pryor. Revelation 20.
That's how she was breathing too. 21:1. You got it on right now. You got it on right now. I don't need one. That mean you got it on. Who? But you lied. Why that shirt fitting tight around on your stomach? You got that big old thing on. I'm just messing with you. I hope not.
And I saw a new Shamahim
mess
in
with
the
your
new
kidneys.
rocks. For the first Shamahim and the first rocks were passed away, and there was no more sea. And I, John, saw the Kadesh city, New Jerusalem, coming down from Elohim, out of Shamahim, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband.
Yes, sir.
And I heard a great voice out of Shamahim saying, "Behold, the tabernacle of Elohim is with men."
It's with who?
Is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be.
That's good. If y'all want to actually look, I think it's in Ezekiel 47. It'll tell you how big and how wide the kingdom actually is. But then the next thing he said that you can sit back and look at that. That's sitting back looking at dwelling and eating at the table of Elohim. John 5:39. Let me finish the slide. See, I did it backwards. Backwards. You weren't ready for that.
Some stuff on y'all boys, see?
Search the scriptures, then you think you have eternal life, and there they will testify of me. And you will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you that you have not the love of Elohim in you.
Pause. Now see the thing that we looked at, right? We looked in Luke 19, right? And he said that the things of their shalom was hid from their eyes. And what was hid from the thing of their shalom being hid from their eyes is that they could not see that Yahushua was the sacrifice of eternal life to destroy sin and chaos for them. The reason why, that's why we looked at it, he said, "Behold, I will remove you from the straightness or from your distress by the words of my mouth." Yahushua came to remove you from that distress because he said you were in fear by reason of bondage because of death, but by him who had power over death, that is the devil. You understand? So when you look at the chastisement and the affliction and the humility that he took on, it was for the purpose of removing death from you or establishing shalom. Because these people did not believe, therefore they couldn't see it. But this man's death and him doing that is how he was able to redeem you from the transgressions that were under the first covenant, which was the idolatry, all the wickedness and everything that everybody did. Go ahead.
It says, "I receive not honor from men, but I know you that you have not the love of Elohim in you. I come in my Father's name, you receive me not. If another should come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe that you seek honor one of another and seek not the honor that comes from Elohim only? Do not think that I will accuse you to the Father, because there is one that accused you, even Moses, whom you trust. For if you have believed Moses, you have to believe of me, for he wrote of me. But if you believe not my writings, how can you believe my word? Didn't I say leave it alone?
If you're not going to believe the book, you're not going to believe his words. Therefore, those words are not going to take you out of your distress to cause you to sit down in a broad place in order to eat fatness. Hallelujah for Yahushua in the word. Let's go ahead and slide.